Hello, hello, everybody. What a beautiful Thursday we have here. And it is the start of the summer season. Welcome to Victoris Legend Series, Week 1, Day 1. I am your host with the most. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. It's Beautiful Crow. And rocking with me on the desk, we have Cute Noob. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. It is a pleasure to be here.
And is that over there onto the far side? On yonder, on the peaks, is Becky. Say hello. What's up, girl?
What's up? I'm having a great day and it's about to get a whole lot better with some Valorant action.
Absolutely, indeed. Like I said, it is week 1, day 1 of this summer split, and we have a bunch of teams now. We get 2 groups of 9 teams this time around, top 6 for playoffs. So you know the deal. It's going to be 9 weeks regular round robin, and then 4 weeks of playoffs, high stakes action, playing for $700 for first place, and got 300 going for second. I'm excited to get into the season. Being brought in, I only did like a few games towards the end of last split. I'm really excited to be here for this entirety of this split. Just shout out to Victor for having me in here. I'm super excited to get in this. And going forward, we do have to point out we are on the most recent patch, so 4.8, but Fade will be disabled this week for all games. Kind of on the OP side right now. Don't really want to give that quote
hmm
unquote unfair advantage to teams that have played her and have not played her, but we will have her enabled for next week. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And tonight's game we have Polarity versus Colossal Gaming. Should be a pretty spicy series, I would think to say, don't you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. These are two teams. Well, as far as polarity, they are fairly a put together team. They do have two new players. They brought Loco and Apolzi. Those are going to be their recent subs. So they're trying out two fresh new faces. Not sure who they're going to be taking over or what roles, but they are. And as far as Colossal Gaming, we were talking about it in the green room, guys. And it is a team that has Cal, who played in Excelsior. Excelsior was actually in the semifinals last spring, or this spring that just passed, and they made it to the semis, very close to the finals. But unfortunately, they did fall to S4GE. So fresh, but not so fresh since they do have that returning player.
Yeah,
Pretty impressive.
definitely feel that's going to be impressive to come with that lineup. Yeah, like you touched on teams from last spring. We only have 3 returning teams in the summer, with Polarity, Victorum, and Colossal. So it is a battle of the quote unquote vets right now for this series. I would say it's interesting to see what they are going to change. I do believe for the team that is Victorum, though, that one was a lot to touch on as they changed everybody but one player. If anyone wants to speak on that, volumes of that.
Yeah, so I was here for the successes of Victorium, and I have to say that was a amazing team that won last spring season for Victorium League, and they did phenomenal. They were just amazing. They steamrolled most of their competition except for S4GE. That's where they kind of struggled a little bit, but they eventually did succeed. Like you stated, they did have a complete roster change, which was disheartening. I felt like, oh my goodness, you have such a solid roster, but things happen. Players need to, maybe they have a new job, or maybe they are going to school. So I'm not sure exactly what went down with Victoria, but having a new fresh team is going to be a little bit hard for Paige, I feel like, because after already practicing with a solid group, getting into a new group and seeing how the pace of the game is going to change for you is going to be something to look forward to.
Yeah, Becky, any thoughts on that at all?
Yeah, I am not super familiar with these teams and these players, so I'm all on what Cute Noob is saying, and I think that it's really cool that we're getting to see a lot of change, and sometimes that can be a really like good thing for a player. You can go from one team where even if you like had good chemistry with them, you can have good chemistry with a new team. I mean, a lot of these players are probably playing a lot of solo queue as well and are kind of used to being solo players, so definitely a lot of range as far as how they can kind of feel out a new team composition and new team chemistry can go. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, and it might just be a whole new world for these players.
Whole new world indeed. Yeah, I love that story of like, you have your team, you've done Smash the League, you won, and you come back into the next split with an entirely new face and an entirely new squad behind you, seeing if you can recapture that glory, get that magic back in your pocket, and like that's going to be something we have to see for Victorium. But that's whenever they play. We're focusing right now on Polarity and Colossal, and I believe both of these teams, like a lot of the players have played together before. But Colossal, I think they have a sub in or they have a changed player, I want to say.
Yeah, they have for Colossal, they only have Cal, who is the returning from Excelsior. And then the rest of the roster is freshly put together. We did have one player who played from Celestial Aim, I believe it was. So they were on another team that did play in the league. But as far as just like getting together, this is going to be a fresh new squad. But if we want to talk a little bit more about Polarity, they did make it to the semis as well. So both of these teams have their toes into these semis. So they played a lot of games. Unfortunately, like I stated also for Colossal, Polarity did fall as well in the semifinals to the winning team, which is Victorium Esports. So it's like a whole big ball of chaos happening. And I'm so excited to see how these changes in each of these teams is going to really impact that final like moment.
Oh yeah, love seeing how it's all going to come together. You know, like the meeting of the minds, the strats going. Do they play as a team or do they play as five solo queue players that just happen to be have a little bit of cohesion? You know, it's like you can get those tells. It is week one. It is only day one, so like most teams have like two mindsets: either make the best first impression you can, or just hail mary it, see if it sticks. It's okay. It's only the first week. You know.
Yeah, and I think that it'll be really interesting to kind of start to, as a result of some of these being new rosters, kind of craft new stories for each of these players as we go
Mm.
along, starting out on week one as well. It's the kind of first chapter of this new story.
Yes, the first chapter, always want to have a great introduction. Depending on what type of novel you're writing, sometimes you want to have it be a slow burn. Sometimes you want it to be absolute chaos and insanity right out of the gate. So, looking at the teams on this in this group B, because we are starting with group B in this streamed game, I'm just looking at a lot of these rosters, and I'm like, which teams? Like, we don't have a lot of data on them, but just if you had to like put your chips on a random dark horse or a random horse that you know nothing about,
Ooh,
like
we're getting crazy here. We're getting super
yeah,
crazy here. There we go. We
dude,
have
yeah,
the
we have the teams on the screen right now.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Can I go first? May I?
Absolutely,
Is that okay?
absolutely,
Okay. I'm going to go with Victorum. And the
yeah.
reason why I'm going to go with Victorum is because I know their coach and I have spoken with their coach in the past about this new roster and the amount of faith that they have on this new roster. Because, mind you, these players aren't just players that they just happen to pick up off of, ranked. These were like the second roster to Victorum. So they had the main team and then they had the B team. So a lot of these players they are from their B team and they're coming into that main streamline main team now. So they have a lot of faith in them and they know that they can do well on this main roster. So I'm going to go with Victorium just solemnly based on, the background information. Of course, it's always nice to have a second choice. So if I had to have a second choice, I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I'm just going to give myself the right to. It's
Go
going to be
for it.
Polarity. If
Okay.
anyone, just because Polarity, they had the potential to get into the semifinals last, of course, new roster. And I'm hoping that this new roster is going to spice it up for them and get them into the finals.
Oh, I love it, Becky. Any first thoughts or impressions on any of these teams that you want to just go ahead and put all your chips behind? By all
You know,
means, the floor is yours.
all right. You know what? There is a name on here that I actually do recognize and that I actually got to cast yesterday, and I do think is a name that is certainly worth kind of watching out for, and that is Nameless Esports. They were an
Ooh.
absolute hoot to watch yesterday. They had some really fun and interesting plays that I think a lot of people aren't going to be prepared for. There's actually a clip that I kind of made a meme about earlier where they had one of their silver player actually like just use the owl drone to get in the face of somebody like staring down the barrel of an operator, and it just allowed for the person with the op to not actually be able to shoot anybody as they pushed onto site, and they got to clear a lot of like longer angles by just utilizing that owl drone in a really creative way. So I think that there's certainly players to watch on that team who are pretty creative and certainly going to be somebody that I hope get to go kind of a long way in this series.
Okay, Nameless, looking out for y'all, looking for some crazy stuff, some crazy plays. I like to hear it. That young ingenuity, I love that. And for me personally, I had seen some of these teams, and then Gareth had told us, "Oh yeah, we had two people join last since the draw show." I'm like, "Who could they be?" He told me one of them was Akuma
Ooh.
Esports, and I know Akuma for a lot of their teams in the League of Legends scenes. I do know they have a few teams in the Valorant scene as well, but this is an organization with tenure, with history. They've been around for a good minute. They've been in a lot of these upper high profile spaces and whatnot. So like when I saw, I was like, oh, we have an Akuma team in the league. That's going to be spicy to watch because these guys will come out swinging. Like the name suggests, they are demons when they play. They have a very hyper aggressive personality and style to a lot of their players. Um, I have not seen this roster play, so I'm not sure if they are going to keep that same organization mentality. But like they kind of feel like the bad guys of the group whenever they come into any
Ooh.
situation. So definitely going to be looking out for them to see what kind of shenanigans they can get into, what kind of demonic compositions they might want to drum up, and see what kind of beatdown they want to put on the rest of this group B here. With that being said,
I like
for
that. I like the anime kind of setup that we have going on there. It's like we have the good guys, we have the bad guys, and everything all around. I believe. Okay, no, we're just getting our producer setting things up on the side there.
yeah, we got a little bit more time to burn, little bit more oil to wind down as we are getting set into this game one between Polarity and Colossal. It is a best of three for those of you that are new and watching into the series, so it'll be a best of three dial for tonight, and I am excited to get into it for sure. Preliminary predictions, if we can go into that, between Polarity and Colossal. Cute Noob, we will start with you. Which team do you think will take the series tonight?
Oh man, it's hard. It's hard to choose. I mean, like I stated, both teams making it to the semifinals. It's gonna be a good one. We're gonna be here for the long haul. If I predictions, I guess I'm gonna lean towards Polarity just because they have more of their team put together. As far as only having two subs,
Right.
Colossal having a complete new roster, except for one, is a lot. hitting. And when you do get into just simply hitting one site, you have to think about the utility that's stopping you from hitting that site and how much damage are you taking trying to just enter into the site, not even worried about planting. You're just trying to get onto the site. You're getting stopped by so much util, and if that just stops you at your core, then there's nothing much you can do. So I expect. As far as team composition, we're going to see a Sage or some type of mid control. I have even seen a Viper bring out on Viper. So if this team is feeling spicy, bring out that Viper. Use that Viper to hold down the mid section. You can even bring out that KJ as well. As far as entries, I'm seeing a Sky, possibly even a KO as well. What about you, Becky? What do you want to see?
I love KO, and it kind of is breaking my heart because I also really like Sky, but I feel like KO is just slowly, the more people are getting used to KO, is just proving to be way, way stronger. Like the dog, great at clearing out corners, but you know what's even better at clearing out corners and also does damage? A grenade. So why don't we just throw that in there? The flashes are a lot easier to utilize. You get to follow them up a lot better than you can with a Sky. And so like KO is just proving to be better and better. And the other thing that KO does really well that we don't see as well utilized from basically anyone else is the more that we're seeing Chamber, the more that we're seeing Jet, and you basically see Jet on almost every single map. The reason that KO is so good is you just get to take away those eco rounds from your opponents if you have that null command and if you have that 0 point. Being able to just silence and suppression and make sure that your opponents can't use those eco abilities is so big in the game right now, because right now a lot of Valorant is just revolving around those abilities that those agents have. So I really am just like, I'm sad to see Sky kind of fall out of favor as a result of it, but it just makes so much sense that KO would be growing in popularity as a result of those things.
For sure. I'm really hoping that this KO pick does shine more because honestly, I have loved the agent since his release. I'm like, yo, this guy's gonna be so pivotal to the competitive side of Valorant going forward. And it has really shown, and teams have been growing on him more and more as the time has gone on. With that being said, I must bid you guys adieu. I will let you take it from here as we are gonna get into that agent select. And yeah, just I will see y'all on the other side. Have fun, enjoy the maps, and enjoy the games.
Wait,
Of
Crow,
course,
don't leave us just
yeah.
yet. We
Yeah,
are
you're
on the
actually gonna
wrong
have to
map.
come back. We're on the wrong
Oh
map.
no. I gotta come back.
You
Okay,
gotta
let
bring
me,
us
let me,
back
let me
in.
settle back in. Let me settle back in. My mistake.
Oh
Man,
no.
I feel
Not your mistake. It's all good. We will be getting the map fixed up in just a second. Be going to not Ascent, we will be going to Split in actuality. So definitely going to be a little bit of a switcheroo here, but we should be able to get it fixed quite easily. We
Yeah.
just had one member of CG do a little bit of a
Alt F4.
oh, I just
Damn.
completely just like, all right, I'm out.
That's
Oh man, that's unfortunate.
okay
It's like
because
it's like one of those scenes in a movie. It's like, all right, this is my farewell. Like they're like the character's like dying, and it's like
oh
the slowest, painful like death. It's like any moment now.
no.
Uh, Awkward. Oh man, it should be gone, and it just kind of like goes on for like 5 minutes.
like
I'm
that scene in Brother
completely
Bear
just
where the old
Oh
lady bear is
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I still miss my husband Edgar, and then you just hear a voice out in the distance. It's like, I'm not dead yet.
yes. Oh my goodness, that's such a classic movie.
I
Like,
have
I
another
love
one
that
though.
movie.
What about the what are you waiting for? That's us right now.
Yeah, chat is like, Caster, start game. We're trying. We did the wrong map. Sorry,
Yeah.
we got a little too hasty on the start. That's our bad.
uh,
We'll get better. We promise.
I promise, my fingers on the button. It's just like waiting for it to just hit it. But
Actually, if we can blame anyone, let's blame CG RJ who decided to Alt F4 for all of this to become possible.
all right, we
Thank
We
need
you,
to
were
but
find
waiting
also
on
Twitter
thank
real
you.
quick. DM him. Just hit at him everything we get.
All
Uh,
right, we are in though. Now we
okay, you
say
are
goodbye to
okay.
you, Crow.
Now,
Goodbye.
I'll bid you goodbye. Have fun, ladies. Let's get this
Uh,
game going.
Oh, we will. And I hope you have fun watching as well. I mean, it seems like we already got heard a little bit for some spicy action as RJ, the person who did kindly dodge for us to reset this game, has gone ahead and locked in the Rays. I think this is one of the
mm.
upsides to having Split be our first map. We do a little bit of spice as far as one of these duelists is concerned, and I like going ahead with the Rays, and we're actually going to see Flames go ahead and do it as well. No Jets for either of these teams, and I am adoring the Rays pick.
Yeah, I love Raze. I play Raze. I'm all for it. I think the only thing that's going to be different for us, Becky, is going to be the Breach versus the Sky. We talked about a KO. This team said, you know what? Y'all have an idea, but we're going to show you what's up. And the what's up is we're going to bring out a Breach. We're going to bring out a Sky who is officially locked in on Navi's side.
Select your agent.
Cal, making us think, are you going to pick that Omen though? Yes. Okay. So right now, right off the bat, Becky, who is going to be the top initiator? Ready to say go?
Oh, I mean, I really like the Breach pick. I think Breach is definitely one of those kind of underutilized agents, especially on a map like Split. There are a lot of these long angles that you can get really creative with those flashes. And I just like, while I love Sky, I just think that every one of these other initiators with flashes just have so much better recovery after their flash ability that I think it makes sense to go for somebody a little bit different, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how that gets utilized in a lot better of a way. Though the information that can be gathered from that Tasmanian tiger as well as the seekers that come out of Sky can really be a great kind of bridge, and that information just isn't something that you're gathering from somebody like Breach. So I'm gonna be excited to see how these differences end up kind of ringing true and how it like kind of sets a different pace as far as the game is concerned for both of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, you said it all. The Rolling Thunder, though, I feel like is so impactful as well, though, Becky. Like, the Rolling Thunder not only stunts, but dispositions the enemies. And I think it could be a really good ultimate to start off and hit a site very hard. But that's not what's going to happen right off the bat. We're going to start off with a little bit more of a slower pace. The whole gang is going to be at mid here, waiting for the Sage to peak. But hey, the Sage knows better and says, I'm just going to stay back and chill out for a second. I do like the lurk happening from the chamber over onto this A site, just trying to wait and capitalize on the mistakes of Colossal Gaming, but they're not even giving them an ounce.
Yeah, I mean, I like the decision from Loco to just go ahead and say, you know what, you normally expect a little bit of a battle stage situation here, but I'm actually just gonna wait. I get enough information from hearing you push through that wall in mid that I'm just gonna use that information and wait over in this kind of off angle. And with that boombot going out, we are about to see the point where Loco is gonna get that luck to pay off, gets that initial kill onto RJ, and now the rest of the attackers kind of have to move in without that raise, and it is going to go poorly for Cal, but thankfully Navi with 2 kills right back are going to keep this at an even 3-3.
Okay, now we're playing Retake Simulator. It's a 3v3. We do have a lot of utility in the back pocket of Kyle. You see that Aftershock, those flashes coming through as well. Pulsey's going to make some noise over onto A Heaven, getting rid of that wall. The nades come out. Utility is thrown. They do know there's one onto Raph with the flash coming through as well. Verdict enemy takes down Flames, and now it is Cleanup Simulator for these attackers.
Oh yeah, I mean, Varix being able to pick up those 2 kills as well as Zemnaz getting to pick up 1 as well, going so nicely, but really it kind of was held together. Navi did a great job of getting those 2 kills and pushing in at the same time as they were coming in from Heaven, utilizing that difference of space and really just being able to kind of catch them the defensive side off guard and picking off Loco and Fruity. So very beautifully done from Navi there and getting the team onto site in kind of a different way than you would normally expect.
Yeah, that is, you said it. That is not a way that you start off a first map. You don't hit mid first and wait out for the Sage wall. You usually go for a site, but they have the secret. And the secret is that if they continue to be successful at mid control, like I was talking about earlier, Becky, they're going to be able to get a lot of points on this attacking side. And mind you, to all our viewers, this map is defender sided, so you should be winning your defensive half.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult when you're playing against a team who's just so ready for it. The paint shells force Loco out of that corner and right into Zemnaz. Varix also to pick off Flames. And now the kill on both sides of the map. It's kind of just whatever CG wants to take here. They can do whatever they please, and they would really like to take this A side. Slow Orb going to be able to keep Fruity from pushing on it to this side.
Spike planted.
Just like that, Fruity and Kyle, the only 2 remaining against all 5 of the attackers. Probably just going to see if they can do some damage to the economy, but I can't imagine them really being able to pull this one out.
I mean, it's a story of the pistol versus a Spectre, and yeah, like you said, doesn't usually turn out very pretty for
Last
the
player
pistols.
standing.
And Xenaz good for one. Varix cleaning up the second, and just like that, we expected this, Becky. We always talk about the second round being an easy peasy for whoever is the one to buy up, and that's just kind of how we saw, unless you get lucky and you get a pick, which that was not the case for the side of Polarity. Now, this is going to be the point where the tables turn. If Polarity plays their cards right, they need to be able to get this point down on their belts in order to be successful the following rounds and be able to actually come back from this 0-2. What are you seeing that they're lacking here, Becky?
I mean, they have two people who are lacking full armor, which is a little bit of a shame. And I mean, they're definitely lacking somebody on the attacking side also hurting on credits. Considering that it was a flawless round, every single one of them really gets to keep holding on to these Spectres and get the absolute most for their money off of those first 2 wins. And that's just kind of a shame, especially when you're seeing Varix, top of the side for CG, is 2 points off of that tour de force. So, I mean, economy is just going to be so strong for this attacking side. And if you're Polaris, you're definitely going to be hoping to be able to get some rounds under your belt, even more than normal, because you don't want this economy to start going down the drain for you.
Oh, the patience. Yeah, economy is so important in this game, especially when you need to kill your opponents using it. And to be able to also hold them back with your utility, you need that money to be in your favor. And I'm kind of worried here, Becky, because Sage just continuously gives up this mid control, which allows for the rest of the team of Polarity to get ganked from all different angles. As we can see, it's Colossal Gaming already getting full control of this vents, and therefore leaning onto this A Heaven where it's just Kyle. It's a breach. Yes, there's a utility to hold him back, but 1v3. Okay, never mind, Kyle. You have another letter coming out here. Kyle does get one. It's the lead chamber here now, trying to fight another, but it is a pulse going down now. The bomb, though, is already onto the site, and there's no one home.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle kind of forced back because of that paranoia, and that's just so great for the attacking side, able to push on dark cover to keep them safe as well. Fault line wasn't really able to tag anyone up, not like it would make a ton of sense for Kyle to push through, so kind of wish we would have held off on that fault line for the rest of the team to get onto site, because you're not really planning to push through a dark cover, especially on an angle where you can't really get a flash off as breach, so an unfortunate situation there, but now with all the defense on this side getting ready to come onto site so far. Between those raises, but it's looking quite good for the side of Polaris. A Loco picking up quite a few kills, low on HP, but it doesn't matter when all of the attackers are down.
Just beautifully done there. You're right. I love the patience coming out from Kyle not to push with that aftershock or the fault line. Also held back on the flashes, which allowed for the rest of the team of Polarity to come onto site and clean up town. As we saw, Loco was just like 1, 2, 3, easy peasy under my belt. I get the defuse, and I'm working for that resurrection for the following rounds. And also, Becky, we talked about that had to be the round for Polarity. Otherwise, we were looking at maybe 4-1 or 4-0 on the side of Colossal Gaming, and that is where mental starts deteriorating.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we did see Kyle and Apples go down in that last one, so they're on light buys. I mean, Apples is able to keep some light armor that has now immediately been blown off, so able to get to safety, but in an unfortunate spot, as we also see Kyle, who had just a sheriff, so gonna be able to buy in the next one, but is looking pretty weak into this one. Apples also getting tagged up a little bit more, barely holding on here as Varix is just trying to finish him off. Not going to be able to, though, as Fruity on the other side of the map picks off that kill on the RJ. Nice little teleport, but gets caught right in the middle there. Xenaz to pick off that one. Very nicely done as Varix on this lurk. Gonna have the opportunity to go and join up with the rest of the attackers as 2 members of the defense have got to figure out if they're playing together or playing for information here as the bomb is starting to go down.
Spike planted.
At this point, you're playing for economy. You want to get a kill on the side of Colossal Gaming to help you and your teammates for the next round. You said it, Becky. They are going to be full buying together next round. Since 2 of the leading members did go down, they try to go for that, but Varix, we see you. We get it. You are the chamber main. Varix just popping off, Becky. Oh my Lanta.
I mean, and that's kind of what we expected, was top of the board a few rounds ago and still is. Now also has that tour de force ready. So should they end up in kind of a sticky situation as far as their credits are concerned, they won't be looking too bad. And like we were kind of talking about before the game started, there is no KO in this game. So there's not going to be an agent that just gets to say absolutely not to an ultimate like that tour de force. So, I mean, it's going to be just kind of hunting season for this chamber.
I would hate to be that mouse. Look at how quickly they were able to get that wall down here, and they're even getting some information with that Trailblazer. It's going to be Loco in a tough situation here, trying to fight off RJ, but RJ has another word for that. The Raze nades do come through and hurt RJ, but hey, look, there's a handy-dandy Sage right around the corner to heal you up.
Yeah, I mean, you normally hear about the Jet and Sage combo, but I really like the Raze and Sage combo. You got the crazy grenade girl with the nice heal girl as well, and I just think it's such a nice little combination. But speaking of a nice combination, the Highlander battle is over, and we do see that Varix, top of the board, has fallen, so we might actually get to see that Total Force come out next round to save on some credits, as that lurk from Varix is not going to be able to get a lot of equity on this round.
Oh, that's gonna be a scary place to be if you are Flames, if they just shoot through there. Oh my god, the smoke comes down, but Flame claims two! Does go down to Xenons, and now it's a 2v1. Xenons is trying to make it work, able to get one, now making it a 1v1, 45 health on Aples, and has to play this nice and slow, but Zen able to lurk his way around to Ellie. They're gonna meet, they're gonna kiss, and Zenmons is gonna come on top.
Very nicely done from Zenmons there. Not going to be able to get the plan off for those extra credits, but it's a-okay, because you know what else kind of helps out with credits? We've been talking about the Tour de Force a whole lot and that Headhunter, but Resurrection helps quite a bit as well, and that is something that Zemnaz has in their back pocket going into this round alongside that Tour de Force and the Showstopper from RJ.
Showstopper, say less. I love the Showstopper because I could feel the fear in my enemies every time they hear, here comes the party, or would you say, fire in the hole?
Let's play.
I'm just like, oh, I'm out of here. Yeah, I'm like, I'm out of here, I'm out. I'm gonna reposition as far as I can away from that. So that's gonna be allow for Colossal Gaming to gain a lot of space. I mean, they have already done so with the Boombot, and now they're continuing to aggress this mid position, but Kyle takes down the Sage, so Resurrection is out of the party. That nade is going to have to reposition. Flames, unfortunately, cannot do so, and Loco has the Resurrection, but it is a save round, so they're probably not going to use it here.
What a chef's kiss combination that we just got to see from Zemnaz and RJ. Says, you know what? We know that Flames is hanging out in that corner, so slow orb to make sure that you can't move out of it, and then just go ahead, throw those paint shells. If you can't move out, you will die to that raised grenade, and that is exactly what happens. On a different area code, though, Varix has popped that Tour de Force and was able to pick off Apples. I mean, Chamber know what Chamber do, and was able to get the better of him going into this round, so very nicely done, as now the only one remaining for this side of the defense is Loco. Does have the Resurrection ready, all ultimates ready as well, so if we pick and choose correctly, this could potentially be something that they could come back from, though even a 2v4 situation is still really difficult. Gonna go ahead and take care of that trademark, but unfortunately, peeking at the defensive side trademark does mean that Varix gets to clean up that final kill as well.
I was gonna say Loco is definitely indeed Loco, because that was a interesting choice. There, as we can see, the economy for Polarity down in the dumps. They are only able to buy out this round. Yes, there is a lot of ultimates in their back pocket, but ultimates are helpful when you have the economy to back you up for the further rounds. So if they were to lose this, it's going to be rough for the side of Polarity, as we can see. Even Flames was like, maybe I should buy a judge, because this whole bundle business isn't happening. But Aples taking out Varix, already one down. Let's work on the second here, says Polarity, as the mid pressure continues. I like the change of this wall for Loco here. To kind of help him out over at B Heaven. Yeah,
I mean, I like that Loco has recognized every single time they push through Heaven, they've also pushed through Garage, and I love that we're seeing this change of pace. Look towards that area of Garage, look back towards Heaven, and was able to pick off 2, and that certainly helps this defensive side be able to take this one home. And 2-5, they are down, but that's a great start for them to get back into this game and help out with their economy.
And they use no ultimates here, Becky. They still have their ultimates in their back pockets. The biggest ones, obviously, being the Showstopper as well as the Toward the Force and the Rolling Thunder. But hey, if you die in an unfortunate situation, don't worry. You have your handy dandy Sage right there, ready to pick you back up and get back into the action. But let's talk about this A push. As we know, there is also a Showstopper in the back pocket of the returning Rays. RJ able to use it if they wish to fully aggress onto this A site.
Yeah, and it looks like kind of just peeking around, trying to figure out where everyone is hiding. Varus is able to pick off Flames. That Doombot will also fall. So Flash hits 3, but also flashed right back. We're gonna see that Aftershock come out as well, but unfortunately it's not gonna be enough. Varix picks off 4, 2 remain after all is said and done. Not something you'd usually see after 4K, but all of a sudden Fruity is still going to be able to potentially give over this ace. Unfortunately, RJ on the hunt, and Zemnon's going to be the one to actually finish it off.
We're gonna take a technical bus real quickly here, because we did have a disconnect. But Becky, we have to talk about that last round. It looked like it was going to go in the side of Polarity. We saw the flash, we saw the Rolling Thunder come out, and everybody got stunned. But you know what saved Colossal Gaming was the Sage Slow Orb.
Yeah.
It was perfect. Talk about in-game knowledge being at its finest for the side of Colossal Gaming. And that's the details that are allowing for Colossal Gaming to be right here where they are, 4-point lead.
I mean, and this is something that I don't normally applaud Sages for. You don't normally see these fantastic slow orbs. Slow orb normally is one of the most underwhelming abilities that you would think to mention on Sage, but I think it is the mark of a really good Sage player. You can know the cool walls, you can know the Battle Sage walls, you can know the great walls for post plant, and you can know the great walls for defense and gaining information. But I think the moment that you are a Sage with slow orbs that you get to see beautifully utilized with the other utility, either something from the Sky or something from the Rays, or even just doubling up on slow from the Chamber trademark as well as that slow orb, the moment that you get to see all of that utility used in unison and in such a beautiful way, it warms my heart. It makes me feel like this is the reason that you play Valorant.
I felt it all the way over here, Becky. My heart just got as warm as you said it. It makes me smile. It's like when you get into a ranked game and all of your teammates use their mics. And not only that, but they come up with strategies with you.
Oh my gosh.
What? There's a such thing? It's a perfect world. And that's what we're seeing here. And that's why this is a team. This is a team versus a team. Colossal right now looking like the better team, though, because they are able to really come through with those plays and the utility, just like you said.
And I'm hoping that we get to continue to see it, because I think it's a big reason that we're seeing Colossal Gaming just do a really great job on this map so far. That being said, I think a lot of things are going to kind of change. I think that Sky is a lot kind of better on the defensive side, being able to use Sky as a character to go in after the bomb has already been planted and go for those retake situations. But the potency that Breach brings on attacking is just so good. And I mean, we're continuing to see these adjustments that Loco is trying to make sure that no mid control for you. We're getting more aggressive with this Sage wall, and maybe it will be able to gather some extra information and able to immediately blow it down. The blast pack to try and get flames into a unique kind of area does have the Showstopper ready, but it's kind of just waiting for somebody to get really aggressive. That blind from the Breach not gonna be able to tag the ones who matter. Cal to take out Flames. Zemnos picks off 2 more as well. Apple throws down that rendezvous. Prepares to get out, but it's not going to be fast enough. It's RJ just a little bit faster on that trigger to take out those final 2 remaining players for a flawless round.
I have no words whatsoever coming out into that round. I did see chat saying polarity is inting. I think that okay, it looked like inting, but it was a viable choice. What I kind of have a lot of questions about is how the communication is happening on the side of polarity. I'm seeing them try to use utility to help one another, but it is not coming through so seamlessly as we are seeing with the RJ and Zemnaz on the side of Colossal Gaming, right? We saw the flash and then Raze peaked, and then that's where the Raze got caught out. And unfortunately, we just need a little bit of more communication, I guess, on the side of polarity at least, to kind of use utility together and really work at it, I guess, is my point here at this moment. But this mid control, it looks like Loco has decided, you know what, mid, we're just going to give it up. We're just going to work on defending the sites, which is a viable choice, as we do see that first kill go down onto Varix on that A site.
I mean, if there's one thing we can kind of count on happening every single round, it is Varix and Apples meeting on that A site. Both of those chambers just don't want to move from it. It's one of the biggest reasons that we see the attackers go for that commit onto A site, or if they decide to commit onto the C site, it's whether that lurk goes their way or not. Navi, though, being so aggressive, gets blinded right back after that kill onto Loco. And now RJ deciding, moving down those stairs on the hunt, a little bit tagged up, but the one who's able to move away from that A site, Apples, gets that kill and goes immediately right back onto A site heaven to make sure that nobody is hanging out there. But those trademarks can gather all the information you can possibly need, and we're finally going to see that resurrection. The second coming of RJ is quickly seized by Apples, who peeks right back around, and Navi going to go ahead and move towards that B site, which will be the commit for these attackers now, with Flames hanging out towards this top side. Pops that showstopper, going to be able to pick up Navi, but Cal from behind finds those final two players.
Oh, that was such a great moment for polarity. It looked bright. Apples coming out on top, just like you were saying, able to sneak out, get that kill on Varix, the leading chamber for Colossal Gaming. But unfortunately, the rest of the gang just seemed to not help out Apples, which is where I'm getting a little bit frustrated with the side of polarity. It's you know exactly where the enemy is going, so just work together, use your util. We saw the flash trying to come out to help out Flames, but Loco, but unfortunately Loco did get flashed back and then pushed by Navi. Just Colossal Gaming just doing everything correctly and together is what I'm seeing a lot here.
I mean, that's kind of what you need to do, and it's one of the marks of kind of the teams, again, that I was mentioning before we even got into this game. You like to have this spread of people who are all very similar, especially like kind of in rank. You get to play so similarly when you're similar in rank, and as a result, we're seeing kind of everyone on the side of Colossal Gaming being on the same wavelength. They're playing together, and it's just working out so well for them. Varix, though, a little bit stuck behind this wall, not going to be allowed to do the normal lurk that we're used to seeing, as Navi goes for this little bit of a peek, going to instead choose to use that guiding light to get up on out of this vent area, force Apples down. But there are two hanging out in this corner that RJ is about to need. The trademark slows, but RJ giving that information over to Navi does mean that both of those people holding that corner going to go ahead and fall as Fruity. Little bit creative here, trying to see if we can peek around and find anybody. We know that regrowth came out, but unfortunately RJ just hitting the shots a little bit faster than Fruity to deal with, as Kyle soon to fall in another flawless round going Colossal Gaming's way.
Colossal Gaming able to take control of anywhere and anything that they like, but let's I want to give a little bit of props to Loco. Loco has been using the gears, constantly repositioning to a new position, constantly using the wall in a variety of different ways, showing that they are trying. And I mean, I want to be hopeful, not only because I chose polarity to win, but I also want to be hopeful because there is that second half, there is that reset, there is that overconfidence that happens when you are winning, especially this much for the side of Colossal Gaming. They still, for the side of polarity, they still have one round left on this defending half. So if they were able to take it to that 9-3, it could potentially allow them to bring it back on to the attacking side if they were to win those pistol rounds. So I hope that their mental isn't super crushed by this first half.
I hope so as well. I mean, you gotta wonder how it is feeling for them, especially when they're choosing to call this timeout on the last round before the swap. I mean, if there was gonna be a change to be made, I kind of wish we were gonna see it being made a little bit sooner. I feel like
Mhm.
when you're able to just try to get yourself to a 9-3, granted a 9-3 is a lot better than 2-10, especially because at a 2-10, those like first two initial rounds are basically leading you to match point. So you'd love to give yourself that little bit of extra wiggle room. And I hope for their
You want
sake
to
that they
play?
can
Let's
certainly do
play.
that off of the back of that timeout and it not go too detrimentally horrible for them.
For the side of Colossal Gaming, they are going to be going more towards this. Uh, I want to call it a default, but it's not really, right? They constantly have just Varix battling out this A site, trying to get rid of the clone that is onto that A site. And then the rest of the team does go lurk about this B site. They're gathering as much information as they could with the Trailblazer onto mid. They're going to know that that safe wall is there. And Loco and Raze, though, are going to try this Wombo combo. They're going to throw the nade and the slow orb, taking a page out of Colossal Gaming. Unfortunately for them, though, it didn't pan out, and Breach does go down onto that B side. The Showstopper coming down. It is down onto Booty, and now the man's left for the side of Polarity is just down to Flames. 30 health and Dream as he fights on mid, able to take down Navi, but it's Varix who cleans up town.
Yeah, an unfortunate situation. Flames was looking really good after that other kill was picked up, but it just wasn't quite going to be enough. And a 2-10 half. And now, I mean, like I was saying, this is just one of those situations where Colossal Gaming just needs to clean up this pistol round. And then the next round is not guaranteed by any means, but it's like an 80-20 spread. You really got to be working hard for the money if you're going to be able to pick up a round after losing the first two. So it's something that I think is going to be an uphill battle, but if Polarity can at least get themselves this pistol round, get themselves that extra round, and then be able to slowly just kind of convert, play smart, and play on this kind of play to their strengths. Utilize this breach as well as possible. Be able to clear out those corners. I think that they'll be in a lot better of a position. Unfortunately, their position on that matter has already been given out by that Boombot, and they're immediately walled off.
Oh, that nade does make it through, able to reposition the Sage, but now it's going to have to be a reposition for them. Archie through the smoke onto Flames. We see you. Wow, what a shot. And now the rest of the gang for the side of Polarity has to rotate over, but not before Navi could get a hit onto them. Cal also getting Kyle out of the way now. Breach no longer into the gameplay means no flashes for the side of Polarity. The bomb making its way down mid. Not quite sure where they want to aggress. I guess they're aggressing onto B Heaven, though, Becky.
Oh, I mean, this is kind of a nice start. This defensive side dark cover is going to be able to kind of keep as much information and aggression at bay as possible as we see the attackers kind of deciding, do we want to push through the smoke or do we want to go ahead and just go through vents? And it looks like we're going to do a little bit of a split up here.
I am nervous. As we know, RJ is nasty with the headshots and the ghost, but now has to reposition because Fruity and Loco know exactly the position. 3 members of Polarity are making their way onto the B side, but they're going to have to worry about the staircase because there is one able to down. Loco able to take out Cal. Apple's also getting onto Zemnod, and now it's a 2v1. There's enough time to play here, and they're gonna have to play against Varix, who has been nasty with the headhunter, looking for one, now hunting the second. Loco gets some shots on there, so good for him. Now looking for this final collapse, and yes, indeed, it does go down. Loco able to clutch it up and get that third point on the board for Polarity.
I mean, Loco playing absolutely Loco, but that's kind of what you got to do against those sheriffs. You got to make sure that you're always moving, and if that means doing some jumping and some right click, if that's how you're going to utilize that free gun to the best of its ability, then that's what you got to do, and you love to see it start to go in the way of Polarity, who have a lot of work that needs to get done if they want to come back into this game, but this is a nice first step. We're going to see Apples go ahead and buy up a Bulldog going into this round. The rest of the team going to go for those Spectres and full armors across the board. So really digging deep into those pockets and really hoping that they'll be able to keep those guns going into those next rounds.
This makes me nervous, Becky, because we have seen them buy up and we have seen them fall short. So I'm hoping that's not the case as they aggress onto this mid. RJ does take some damage as well as Navi, so this is already starting off fairly good for the side of Polarity as the nades reposition them over the bomb, though making its way onto this A site where Breach has gathered at least a little bit of information waiting for the rest, but it is down up to Apples get some kills onto this B site, but nobody is showing themselves from the side of Colossal Gaming. Zemnaz lurking up, creeping up. This ram gonna peek and be asserted by two. Two have been caught onto this A site, but Zemnaz says, I'm gonna try to do something before they get onto the site. Actually, no, let me reposition because the rest of the gang is coming over.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a way that a team full of classic holders are going to be able to get something done on this site, it's definitely by playing all as 5 and kind of just trying to just like be kind of Mario Ball. But on the other area code, we do see Apples go ahead, and Navi is not going to be able to reposition and join the rest of the team as we are completely caught out there. And all of a sudden, Zemnaz to pick up one.
Last player
Absolute
standing.
classic demon, but it's going to have to continue to be a classic demon if we're going to take this one home, and it's just not going to be the case. Flame says, let's keep my team in this one for just a little bit longer.
I like it. I'm feeling the hype. I'm feeling the momentum shifting for the side of Polarity. But now they're going to have to go up against the big guns here. This is going to be the ARs. This is going to be the Vandals, the Phantoms, and maybe even possibly working on that. Oh, actually, no.
There.
I was going to say, Varix
Right there.
could possibly be working on that toward the force. But no, he's just down
Right
to
there.
those 3 points.
Right there.
Still has 4 more to go. But still, fighting against Vandals and Phantoms is going to be a big battle for them going into this midsection. I like how both teams have, like, just officially agreed to give up mid. Like, okay, you can take mid.
Unfortunately, though, giving up mid means that RJ is going to do some nice peeks, unfortunately catching flames on the reload there. Potentially an unfortunate time to pick for that reload, as now the attackers 3-3 are going to just choose to move. Not really clearing that corner, but it's still going to go okay for Kyle. Navi not going to be able to land those shots. 12 HP does keep Kyle alive, and if you're alive as an initiator, you can continue to gather that information and just be an absolute nuisance, throwing out that fault line here, as well as just keeping people at bay from this CT side as well.
Ooh, that line perfectly good onto RJ. Now looking for
player
the stage,
standing.
but Zemnaz says, not the resurrection coming through, but at the wrong time. It is Apples closing it down. Good for you, Apples.
I mean, you had to wonder, like, if you're the Sage, you're like, no way, I just killed Kyle. There's no way that the next player, like, it's gonna be a 2v2. There's no way that both of you are playing that close to one another. Goes for the resurrection and turns around and is like, oh snap, you were actually playing that close together. And I mean, beautifully done from Apples on Polarity and just trying to keep them in this game. They're now half of the points of Colossal, but that's better than they were doing before. So let's hope that they can keep this momentum.
RJ?
I mean, you got a Bucky. You gotta be getting up close and personal with the Bucky.
That was a choice. There was 1,000 choices out there, Becky, but RJ decided that choice, and Fruity said, you know what? That was not the correct choice. The choice is for us to hit this B site, and we know that you are low on weapons, so we're just gonna plant and Pele post-plant. The thing that they want to do together here, Polarity, is make sure that they're peeking off each other and not giving away those weapons because their economy is booming and they want to keep it that way.
Yeah, trying to get some tags onto Zemnaz, but it's just not gonna be enough. Zemnaz able to move safely onto this site. Has waited for just a little bit. Navi is here as well. Has a sheriff, so it looks like we're gonna see Navi go ahead and play the aggression and the information.
One enemy
to
remaining.
be able to follow up. Unfortunately, Kyle with a nice little peek out, able to get the better of that situation. Zemnaz trying to make things happen, but in a 1v3, it's just that much more difficult, and it's actually Fruity to pick up 3K and 6 rounds going Polarity's way.
We are seeing the come up here. Becky,
Yeah.
we were seeing it. Like Fruity was struggle bussing up on that defending side. Now all the way up in 11-12, almost a even KDA as we can see. And I mean also from the shadows we talked about. I feel like from the shadows, either you're gonna have to use it for gathering information here, or maybe even getting into the backline of the defenders. Personally, as an Omen main, backlines are my thing. I love being sneaky and just infiltrating the attackers. So that might happen here as we see it in the back pocket, but it looks like more of this mid-aggression. Oh, Flames has to reposition. That was some crazy nades there.
Crazy nades, but also some crazy blast packs. Able to get a ton of air and a lot of distance. Very nicely able to reposition. Unfortunately, the defensive side between Barracks and Cal taking on two members of this attacking squad and kind of the duelist as well as that faux duelist. Now you're left with just this breach, and you're going to have to follow it up with maybe some of that paranoia as well. Speaking of paranoia, Cal going to go ahead and use it towards that corner, but thankfully for the attackers, nobody is there. Nobody's home. We're kind of hanging out. We're trying to figure out how exactly we're moving, where at site we're gonna hit, where will we have the most success now that we are down to just 3 players.
I'm a little bit nervous coming out for Polarity here. As we can see, Colossal Gaming, they do not know the word overextended or over-rotating. They hold down their sights to the T. And crossfiring too, as we can see here, Zemnaz and Cal here crossfiring onto this A-head, and the flash does come through, but guess what? Zemnaz isn't even flashed, able to collect one, but Kyle gets two, now down left once again to our dear friend Loco, who has had some insane gameplay, but now in a 1v3, 11 seconds on the board. It's looking grim here, Becky.
Yeah, considering that the bomb is in a difficult place to get to, there's not even enough time to plant. You're kind of just hoping that you can make it to the next round with your gun still in hand, and considering that we just saw this Raze do a nice little runaway, it looks like that will be able to be the case, and thankfully having this gun as well as this resurrection is going to be a great way to kind of go into this next round, and thankfully for the set of Polarity, they also won the first 4 rounds of this half, so their economy is still in a pretty okay place. It looks like Apple's potentially with the roughest economy, but does have the tour de force, so even then, still not going to be too much of a worry. Kyle hasn't bought yet, but has 6+ K, so it should all be okay, especially for these attackers, even though they just lost that one.
It's going to be the battles of the tour de force. Varix bringing it out onto this A site. We have seen Apples and Varix fight it out, but that blind is going to come through and repositioning Varix. Teleport's right in front of Flames. So that was an oopsie daisy. That had to be an oopsie daisy, but no, Navi is killing onto this site. The flash comes through, able to collect one. The tour de force is in the hands of Apples, unable to connect, but Flames is onto the side, taking out the Rays, and now it's a 3v3. They do have Heaven control, which could help out, but they need the bomb. The bomb, Becky, the bomb is lost on the site, in control of the defenders.
Oh, and it's walled off. They're gonna have to blaze through that wall if they're gonna try and get to the bomb, at least from the 10th angle. Unfortunately, not looking at that corner for Rudy to fall first. The dark cover is gonna make it that much more difficult to position yourself once you're out of there. And unfortunately, I mean, Omen's just not looking where they should. I get it. You don't really have eyes. You've just got, I don't know what Omens have, but it's not eyes, as Zemnaz is going to make the decision to go ahead and use one of these eco-reses to make sure that they continue to hold on and have their economy strong for match point.
There were so many oopsie daisies coming out of that round, Becky, I have to say. I mean, Omen was looking in no man's land. Then we have the other Omen from the attackers not checking the corner. I'm just confused all over the place. And let's talk about the Raze ult not hitting exactly where you want it to. There was a man right under hell, and unfortunately that showstopper didn't quite connect. Question mark, right? But we'll talk about that later. This is the final moment, Becky. This is the round that's going to declare whether this first match goes over to Colossal Gaming or Polarity, and the nades are going to start it off.
Oh my gosh, an absolute blazing first round. Slow orbs to come out too and make it that much more difficult to push through despite that wall being burst down. A little bit of a teleport going to be able to come through from Fruity here, moving a little bit closer, but you will be able to hear that, so they might be all that more aware that that Omen is in a place trying to get in their face. But, I mean, the attackers are playing very split right now. They're kind of all over the map. For once, we're not really going to see this crash match between Apples and Varix, and as a result, we're instead going to see a crash of RJ and Fruity, who unfortunately is the first to fall, trying to come out of that mail room, and now also just, you know, trying to keep people all together, trying to make trades back, trying to get these picks, because that's where Polarity's been able to find some success, and the first one to do so is going to be Loco, who's now going to go get this resurrection onto Fruity, come back to life, come back from that void,
left.
and back to this world, Omen.
Oh my, let it Kyle able to connect onto Varix, and it is going to be Apples with that A main controlled. Although RJ is already very deep into screens, here's the plant, so gonna call out to the rest of the gang, say yes
Spike
indeed,
planted.
A site is it, come on over, give me some help. That is something that Colossal Gaming does absolutely phenomenal together, which is waiting for one another and making sure that they are there to trade off one another. As RJ peeks through, as we can see, it is already Fruity right next to him, ready to collect. Sage, they know Sage is A main. They know that there's someone down next to Elbow. RJ pushing deep, but Apple says, as far as you're gonna get. And now down to Zemnoz, where Fruity just clears it up and keeps him alive to see another day.
Yeah, we did see Zemnoz use that resurrection in the previous round, trying to keep the economy strong for this defensive side, and unfortunately they weren't quite able to get themselves that match point. And as a result, we're going to be seeing a much lighter vibe from the side of Colossal Gaming going into this one. Looks like it's going to be mostly classics, some light armor, a Sheriff. We do see Navi with a Vandal, but still should have plenty of credits to be able to buy up going into the next one, so potentially just gonna try and have the rest of the team trade off of them, as well as Cal actually gonna go ahead with a Marshall. Varix just choosing to utilize his headhunter to the best visibility, which unfortunately for this round is not gonna be a whole lot. Flames with a lot to say about that right off the bat. Ooh, and now RJ to fall too. I mean, it is a save round, but even still, dropping so quickly into this is definitely not how you want to start off this round for Colossal Gaming.
Oh no, but it's gonna be the late lurk happening here. Zemnoz, that trigger control, we love to see it. It's gonna look behind. I wonder if, okay, I was gonna say, I wonder if they're gonna try to knife, but no, that's not the case. They're just patiently waiting to see if they can catch some more. The thumbs up saying, hey, I'm okay. I'm still gonna press on through because, hey, that's all we can do at this point. They get walled off though. Oh, that's unfortunate.
So I have this moment all the time. Every time I have a classic on a save round, I'm like, I understand why people buy a Sheriff. Because it means that when you have that trigger control and you have that patience, you get rewarded with a headshot that actually kills them. If you have that patience in a classic, the headshot doesn't always kill. So I like that we did just see the classic as a part of this save, but unfortunately for Zemnoz, that does mean that that nice little lurk doesn't get rewarded, and it's actually a flawless round for Polarity, who still have to win 4 in a row, but even still, that's better than they previously had to do.
I mean, I would rather take 4 in a row rather than that 9-3 that we started at the half, and that just shows Polarity. Oh, 10-2, just kidding. I was thinking of 9-3. I love the 9-3 curse. In case you guys ever come see me cast and hear me talk about the 9-3 curse, I love the 9-3 curse. I believe in the 9-3 curse. The 9-3 curse is a thing. But no, they came back.
Curse in a sec.
It's gonna be the new thing now. We're evolving here, folks. We are evolving, just like Polarity is evolving their gameplay. They have the bomb down onto this B site, but the rest of them are aggressing this mid, getting rid of utility. As we can see, they're baiting out the utility coming out from Colossal Gaming, and that's something that I want Colossal Gaming to take note for, not just this round, but the following rounds, is the fact that Polarity is doing such a phenomenal job at baiting out so much util so early on that it creates a lot of problems for Colossal Gaming to retake a site once that bomb is planted, because hey, they ran out of all the utility. But
barrier orb as well to try and keep them on that stairs area. Unfortunately, immediately getting shot down. Zemnoz in a good spot, but I mean, needed the patience from the previous round. Thankfully, RJ there to do a nice little trade. That 1-for-1 so far, but Flames, beautiful shots all across the board, has really started to hold it down since moving to this attacking side, and that's something that you love to see from his players. Speaking of holding these angles, though, Cal trying to do so as well. Unfortunately, to get caught there, Varix now the only member remaining for Colossal Gaming. And with an operator, what do you think exactly has to happen here?
Don't take 1v1s, folks. Do not peek. And just to say that, Kyle, repositioning. Okay. I'm happy with the reposition. You're not going to bundle up together. You're not going to over peek. It's going to have to be a save for the side of Barracks. But I guess saving isn't even a word in Varric's vocabulary because this is going to be a pickup of the Vandal. The fault line comes through, giving away, or at least stunning, Varric's here. And now the time is ticking. It's going to be a little peek. And then a full swing out coming out from Flames. But thankfully, the rest of the gang knows exactly what needs to happen. Apple's good for it and ready to take them on to the following round.
Being at 10-2, I would have never expected this game to end up at a 9-12 right now. And all of a sudden, I mean, we said that like the timeout was a little bit like late from the side of Polarity when we started off, but now, I mean, Colossal Gaming are saying, listen, we had this huge lead. What is happening? Where are we going wrong? Some pings are coming out on the map. They're trying to figure out what strategies they need to change, what directions they need to start going differently in, because right now it's not going their way. They really need to figure out why they've lost so many rounds since we've seen Polarity move to the attacking side, and they're on a save round. So if there was a round to like take it home on, like I'd be floored if they just lost like 7 rounds and then all of a sudden the timeout on the save round is actually what does it. But that is where we're at right now, and let's hope that they can use this timeout, decide how to either get this one home or bring the next one, because otherwise we're going to be going right into overtime.
Yeah, Becky, and I kind of stated it a little bit before as the following round started, but it's the fact that Colossal Gaming is using so much utility, not even on an entry, just on a mid presence. You see the Sage Wall, you see the Slow Orb, the Boombot comes out, the nades as well, even a flash is thrown out there, and you don't need to because they're not fully aggressing onto this mid site. Also, I have to point out, yes, Barracks is on top, but Barracks has also continuously been taken down over and over again, and I mean, this is going to be a round where Colossal Gaming is just like, you know what, we're just going to try to get as much as we can because it is not a buy-up round. They're buying up the following round, so they're just trying to get as much damage onto the economy of Polarity. And, you know, if they get a dub, that'd be great for them. Obviously, they want that. They want to close out this game and they want it under their belts. But that's not going to be the case since they are up against full rifles and full utility as well.
Oh, I mean, we did get to see Varric's was actually the one to buy up a full Vandal and light armor, so that's a very kind of aggressive buy compared to what everyone else went with. And potentially is just thinking, oh, if I get 1 kill and die, have the tour de force for the next round, and that's basically as good as I need to have.
1 enemy remaining.
Final round, Cal trying to get onto site is not just going to be met by Fruity. Knows where Fruity is. Varric's going to be able to get rewarded with that kill, and now situation gets peeked out by that operator. Doesn't die, but does get kind of flanked by Loco there, as now both of our teams, against all odds, are both at double digits.
Double digits, but mentality is a huge thing of Valorant, and the mentality and the momentum is on the side of Polarity. As we can see, their economy is nice and safe for at least 2 to 3 rounds. Maybe I'm being a little bit overly generous, maybe 2 rounds for sure, and they do have that showstopper as well to enter and dash onto the site, whichever site they decide to do so. But for the side of Colossal Gaming, this is going to be the moment. Otherwise, we're going to overtime, Becky, and I don't think that's what Colossal Gaming wants.
I mean, they've certainly gotta be just hoping. Oh, that's a very aggressive TP. I mean, I'm always scared to TP to high angles because I feel like every time I do, I just get immediately punished. But I mean, the information meaning a lot to this attacking side, and thankfully, you know, still going to be safe. So using that information as Flames and Loco push up into this Heaven side, trademark actually in place, and we do see that they, have utilized their utility in a very different way. As you were kind of mentioning, the paranoia is going to come out from the attacking side, but not going to be able to find anyone in this Heaven direction, as now we're all just kind of hanging out in sewer. Where do we want to go? What's going to be the direction? Looks like we're going to watch the flank and make a quick little turn going towards A site. I love this angle. This is so good.
Golden.
I feel like we need to be listening to like a doo-doo Do 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 do. It's just,
And
that's all I can think of right now, watching everyone slow walk from these angles, and it looks like with this
30
the
seconds
attacking
left.
side readying themselves to make this push and this definitive decision on towards this big side. 20 seconds left on the clock. Double boom into the side. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be enough. Didn't get the showstopper off. Zemnaz picks off two. The bomb will be planted, but Cal is just waiting
10
for the
seconds
swing around.
left.
Thankfully. Oh, I was about to say Apple is waiting for the swing around. Okay, turns back right at the right time. RJ to pick one off to Varix also to even it up. All of a sudden, Kyle's the only one remaining in a 1v3. Falls to Varix. And finally, after 8 rounds brought back, it is still Colossal who bring it all home.
Defenders win.
Out of charges.
friends, I am mind blown. But before I go on to my big, long explanation why my brain has exploded and I might need a second to recollect my thoughts, welcome back, our host, Crow. Hello.
Hello. That was wow, that was a fun last few rounds. Not gonna lie, that definitely woke me up a bit.
Good morning.
The half switch, that's all they seem to need. Unfortunately for Polarity, it was not enough to cinch them that win in this first game, but they showed a lot more fight in them that latter half. Just it was because like in that first half, Colossal were running away with it, literally just like round after round stomping. Cal on Omen had amazing flanks and playing the agent to a very, very good degree, I would say. But RJ, come on, just that kid's actually pretty nutty. Like, loved what he was able to do with the Rays. Just absolute menace there. But I will have to say, highlight for me personally was the fact that Polarity on their attacking round managed to win 4 in a row. Just out the gate saying, all right, we're more comfortable on this side. But yeah, like I know y'all casted it, but what did we think about that game one?
Go for it, Cute Noob. You are muted. Yeah, you're going crazy, but you're muted. I mean, maybe this is on purpose.
I'm
'cause you're-
ready. I wanted to make sure I didn't get overly excited there. Okay. I was going to say, thank you for letting me have the floor because I'm so excited. Because I could not take the mental on Polarity, the fact that they're so mentally strong to be able to come back those 4 rounds, bring us back to that 10-13, even that last round. I could have sworn to you that that was going to go on the side of Polarity, but Zemnon was the it player. He was the golden star, the cherry on top, to just be the sneakiest sage in the world and have that control of not shooting until you just had to, and to be able to get off 2 before you die. I'm just mind blown at the fact that through it all, there was that kind of highlight moment for a Colossal Gaming, but also for Polarity. And this is what we want to see. And I feel like we're getting a little bit too spoiled here to start it off this good, because after that, I don't expect anything less from any other team coming out on this league.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think you put it beautifully.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just Becky, go ahead. Say your piece.
Oh my gosh.
Say your piece.
I both have like so many words and also none. So I'm like sitting here just like trying to piece together exactly how I'm feeling. Cause like both of these teams, like if we had just like watched that first half, like it's one of those situations where like I started watching the movie and I was like, oh, this movie's way too predictable. It's like watching a horror film and you're like, I know what's gonna happen. I'm done. And then like all of a sudden, like you're talking to somebody later and they're like, that's not how the movie goes. Like it doesn't end that way. And you're like, oh, I completely missed it. We got to that second half and all of a sudden we almost saw Polarity like completely turn it around. I mean, we got to see some fantastic sides from both of these teams, some great plays all across the board. I was excited to see the agents that were picked up, how they were utilized, the utility, and ultimately I do think that there were just a few better plays from the side of Colossal and their utility usage that just ended up kind of mattering more. We got to see a lot of sometimes we like saw Polarity go ahead and use their utility and then just kind of like back off. But we also kind of saw that from Colossal, and Cute Noob pointed it out a few times on their defensive side before they were able to really bring it all back home and get themselves like realigned. They were utilizing a lot of kind of aggressive utility into nobody towards mid. And I think a big reason that they finally did kind of close that door was being able to change up how they were using their utility. They started to use the trademarks towards mid instead. They didn't utilize the Sage Wall. They didn't use the blinds. They just waited for the trademark to get that information. And I love that we got to see that change, that use of a timeout that did kind of give themselves a fruitful end to this game.
For sure, yes. The use of the timeout being that good, mental emotional reset, just like, hey, calm it down. We're good.
Yeah.
We're not out of it just yet. And they were able to fight back. For sure, Varix on this chamber, so good. Like his utility placement, his information gathering. He had some ambitious plays, a few ambitious plays, I would say, but like he definitely held it down for his team. So shout out to Varix on that game one. But yeah, with all that being said, wrapped up for game one, we're gonna throw it to a quick break, and we will be right back for game two. So my wonderful, wonderful viewers, do not fret, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well. Welcome back, everybody, to week one, day one of Victoris Legend series. Oh my goodness. After that banger, an unexpected banger of a first map that we had, ending at a 13-10, like it's literally just such a great comeback that was just squashed there at the end. We'll have Colossal Gaming can finish it out, make it a 2-0, or can Polarity bring us to a game three? I do believe we have confirmation that now, much to the chagrin of Becky, we are going to Ascent. So
It's
Mhm.
fine. It's fine. I mean, this
You're not
time,
fine.
no.
I know you.
Mentally, no. But I'm here, I'm now, and happy to be watching some more Valorant. I think if any teams are going to be able to randomly surprise us with a game 3, I mean, Polarity seemed all but out of that game, and then all of a sudden, they went into that half at 10-2, which, like, normal. That's when I turn off the show. That's when I turn off the movie. I'm like, predictable, over it, done. But they brought it almost back. They ended up still losing, but they really got, like, more into the swing of things. And I think if they can kind of bring that same kind of energy, that same mindset, that same power into this next map, we're going to be seeing a lot closer of a game from the start, as well as potentially Polarity taking this one down and bringing us into a game 3.
yeah,
I
for sure.
mean,
Yeah,
go
go ahead
ahead.
before.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say I picked Polarity, and they did bring it back that second half very much so, almost clutching out the last round, even taking us into the overtime. So I'm looking at Kyle, I'm looking at Loco, and I'm looking at Apples to be the star players for this following map. Mind you, Split was the choice of Colossal, so we expect usually the way it goes is okay, you pick the map, you're really good at that map, right?
Right.
But me and Becky, we know this thing. We talk about this thing. It's that Ascent is the map that is as old as time. It is Valorant itself. You know how there's like people that are like, I am esports. No, Ascent is Valorant. Okay, so Ascent is everyone's map. He's everyone's friend. So do I believe that Polarity can dub it up? Yes, I have hope in my little tiny heart. But I also know that Ascent is a map that is everyone's friend. So everybody has strats. Everybody knows the secrets. Everybody has their own secrets about it. So right now, Colossal does have that upper hand of, hey, we won that first map. All we need to do is clean it up and we get to go home nice and early and go snack, go eat dinner, take a nap. I don't know, whatever they're going to do after the game.
Their skincare routine, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that. Yeah, I'm excited to see an Ascent played. Want to see what they can do. I will have to say, for both of these teams, their attack did look better for their defense. I just think that's kind of the case with a lot of amateur lower tier or tier two rather teams. Working on that defensive aspect does come a little bit troublesome for some, but I would love to see both of these teams shore up on that. Colossal managed to clutch it out there in the end, but it got damn close if you as we did see. So I'm gonna ask both of you, what would you like to see from either team going into this game two to allow them more success? Cute Noob, we'll start with you.
So as far as for Colossal Gaming, they need to make sure that they do not nilly-willy use their utility. Don't be just like, they could possibly be here. Let me just throw a nade there, a smoke over there, a dart over there, and seaside. I don't know. Don't be patient. Know your util and know when to throw your util. As far as don't over rotate, there were some times where over rotation did occur from the side of Colossal Gaming. So just be patient, gather as much information, and rotate only when needed. And then for Polarity, they need to be confident in themselves. I think what happened a lot on the defensive sided half was they got a little bit too scared of how aggressive Colossal came off the bat, and were like, whoa, I'm just gonna like play a little bit less aggressive. But when they did find those little sites of victory was when they were confident in themselves and were able to also trade off one each other. Like, be a friend, use the friend system, be there to cover your friend, get the kill, bam, you're even ground, so you could win it. So yeah, what about you, Becky?
Ooh, I'm definitely looking. I mean, we saw some great lurks kind of happening, but I think Ascent is a lot easier to get a lot of value off of those lurking agents from, because it's a lot easier to get kind of behind the back lines. So think that that was something that we saw very heavily utilized by both of these teams, and I think that I'm looking forward to seeing it again and seeing it come to a lot more fruition this time. Alongside that, I think that we didn't see a KO on the last map, which makes me feel like maybe nobody on these teams is really comfortable with the KO, but at the same time, KO is very good on this map. So this is certainly a map where I was already expecting to see it previously, but understand why maybe you weren't going ahead and utilizing it, but now might be the time to pick it up. But I do expect to see something like a Sova as well, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what a heavy information gathering initiator like the Sova can do for these teams.
All right. Okay, that's it. I love to hear it. Save your util, use it at the right time, watch those lurks, pick the KO, pick the Sova. Let's get that information gathering going. That will be all for me for this game. I'm going to leave it to my lovely cohorts to take us into all the action here for Game 2 between Polarity and Colossal Gaming. I'll see you on the other side. Ladies, take it away.
Oh, all right, we will. Thank you so much for bringing us into it. Now we get to get down into the nitty-gritty. So I made some predictions as far as what I want to see. What do you want to see, QNoob?
I'm already seeing that Neon, and I'm saying, yes, Flames, bring it. Neon is chaos, and you asked for a KO, and Loco said, I shall give you a KO, Becky Bird. Don't you worry. Also,
Bless
RJ on the
Loco.
side.
All right, that's what I
Oh.
like to see. We are seeing a big change-up, actually. RJ was previously the player playing Raze, and now is the one that is going to be picking up that KO. I mean, it kind of makes sense. They both have grenades. They're basically the same character, right? Absolutely not. They're not the same character. But I think the bigger difference that, I mean, also kind of feels similar, but also very different, is that Verix is moving off of that chamber and going ahead and going for something like the Jet. I do think it's interesting that we are seeing both Zemnaz and Kyle go for something like the Killjoy and not going for something like the Chamber. I think that Chamber is strictly stronger, but I know a lot of people are still very attached to the Killjoy. She does a great job of locking down both of these sites, but especially when you're picking something like that KO as equally does a great job of locking out Jet and Chamber, but does a great job of making it so that Killjoy can't do a lot of those same things either. So I'd rather kind of have the ability to have a free gun than have all my little robots be stuck on the ground, not able to do anything.
I completely agree with you, Becky. It's going to be the matter of how quick is your reaction time to get rid of that flashpoint, and how quick can you also turn away from the flashes as well, right?
I mean, mine is not good, but I like to imagine that all these players, their ranks are better than mine, so their reaction time is probably better than mine. That's how it works, right?
I hope so. Yes, I hope that's how we see this coming out. Though the mirror matchup, Becky, we talked about it before in the pre-show. We're not big fans of the mirror matchup. We like to see a little bit of diversity, but this team said diversity, no way, Jose. We're gonna go get down with the same team composition. What do you believe is going to be the dictating factor to one of the team's success, either Colossal or Polarity?
I find that the difference, especially when both teams have something like a Sova and a KO, both kind of information gatherers, is the way that that information is gathered and the way that that information is utilized. It really usually ends up being kind of like a Sova diff, how the Owl drone is used, what information it gets, versus like what you do with the information from that 0 point and how that's utilized as well, both on the attacking and defensive side. And if you have a really strong Sova player, a really strong Sova can carry you through a whole map like this. So excited to see what Apples is going to bring to the table. Excited to see what we're going to see from Navi, who was previously on that they were previously on Chamber for Apples and previously on Sky for Navi. So very different agents that they've now switched to, and excited to see exactly how it is going to go as we see that grenade just pushed out to tree, going to keep a lot of these attackers at bay. Verix is going to start to pop that tailwind, but not finding a reason to use that dash just yet, as a lot of the people who were hanging out towards that tree area have started to move away and move into the bullet that is coming from Flames. Picking off that kill towards mid does mean that they are choosing to dedicate themselves
30 seconds
more towards
left.
this A site. In actuality, 0 points come out, not getting any information about anyone being in the close vicinity, and making it that much easier for Flames to pick up RJ. Verix, though, with a nice trade bag, taking out Flames there all of a sudden. 4v3 situation, 10 seconds left, but it looks like we will be able to get this bomb down. No
10 seconds left.
problemo. And also, on top of that, we do see the defense getting ready to try and push back onto site, but it's going to be that much more difficult with that dark cover in place.
That and the fact that you are locked out of the site as well with that door being closed down. You do have a dark cover coming from Cal here onto the site. It's going to be 2 men on hell, and they have to worry about the lurk around that is happening from Kyle, who's coming up from this tree, is connecting, but does not manage to get anyone down. The rest of the game for these defenders is going to come down. But Kyle's good for 2, actually 1, and then Loco says, I'm good for 2 here. Easy peasy. First point on the board. We'll be going over to the side of Polarity, and so far we know that each of these teams' attacks, Becky, work wonders.
Yeah, and so far so good. Polarity doing a great job. They played that very slow compared to kind of how we were seeing things on the previous map. And I don't know how to feel about it. I think it's a great way to play this like initial pistol round, but I am looking to see a little bit more aggression because I feel like if you start off playing slow, starting off playing slow is something that's a lot easier to dissect and be able to rebuttal against if you're on the defensive side. So I think that Polarity needs to kind of change tempo eventually and be able to kind of play both sides of the coin if they're going to try and keep themselves ahead of the game here. RJ is going to be forced back a little bit by the sound of that owl drone. Going to gather that information as to this KO being on site, attacking side, really pushing up, and so far so good as far as a different level of aggression playing up close and personal in that smoke, but that means up close and personal with Flames. Picks off RJ, and now Kyle to grab one as well. So far so good for Polarity.
Yeah, the bomb's going to get planted. Now it's going to be a 3-on-5. Once again, man disadvantage. Kyle catching up Zemnaz on that late lurk that was happening about. And now, you know, all you're hoping for if you are Polarity at this point, or not Polarity, sorry, Colossal Gaming at this point, is to get some damage out. If you can get some damage, maybe Victoris decides to use this weapon, but I don't suppose so since it's going to be their buy-up round next round. And that is where momentum's going to start to shift. We know that the defensive side for both of these teams have not been the greatest, and we are seeing how it's faltered for the side of Colossal Gaming so far. For Polarity, just continue to be aggressive. You said it. This is a map where you want to overrun a site and kind of hope that you take out a few of the defenders to leave the retake at a man disadvantage, and that's what works out best for you. But in this case, it's going to be more of a defaulting for the side of Polarity here.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those situations. Again, we talked about it in the previous game, but it was actually going Colossus's way. Now that we're seeing that first kind of buy be able to go so in favor of Polarity, they're able to keep a lot of those guns. Kyle has a Vandal going into this round. Cal not able to get this kill off very early. He's kept at bay by these grenades from both of these KOs. But all of a sudden, we're at a very interesting kind of standstill. Both of these teams are very split up. I love that we're seeing Colossal continue to really hold their ground in this situation and not make aggressive moves to a different side of the map based on what little they know so far. And hopefully it's something in a decision that pays off.
Oh no, we do seem to have... Okay, never mind. We did, in my head, I was getting the producers saying we might have a disconnect here, but no, they are back and ready to tangle. But the bomb hasn't actually decided where to go, and this might end up biting Polarity in the bum here,
30 seconds
Becky,
left.
because you're buying too much time. You only have 4 seconds to plant. If your planter gets taken down, then someone else has to pick up the bomb and continue the plant. And if there is too much commotion, too many bullets flying around onto the site, that might become hard for you, as we do see Flames dashes onto the site, clearing out generator, but little do they know there is already someone near tree. The bullets are coming through the wall now that the dark cover is in the way. Local's gonna attempt to peek, but decides, you know what, it's probably not the best idea. The recon bolt does come through, give out the position of Fruity as well. Dark cover to help out from A main. Now the drop of them. Nas does connect with one. Now looking for the last 2, or actually 3 remaining for these attackers. They know one's out. I think they know that there's a second one there. But now it's down left to Kyle, who is A main. Does have a turret in the back pocket if they wish to do so. It's going to be the Varix with the full connect here. Cal swings on through. It's the spray through the smoke. Verix is one shot, and Kyle connects with the Sheriff.
Wow, I mean, a very nice quick switch coming out from Kyle and a very nice conversion. As we mentioned, Kyle was the only one who kind of kept that Vandal going into that last round and being able to get that shot onto Cal and quickly being able to switch that Sheriff going very well for this Killjoy and for the attacking side of Polarity. Very, very nicely done here.
Becky, do you think... and I'm just speculating here, okay? Do you think it's whoever attacks first that's gonna win?
Delete it.
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, we almost saw Polarity come back in the last round. Maybe I'd be willing to see it again here. Unfortunately, the spider gun buy does mean that this distance disadvantage is not quite
Down A.
in Colossus' favor. Cal's able to pick up one, but Flame says, I require vengeance, and finds it now. The two defending players that do remain just have sheriffs to their names, and they know that we're likely getting some action towards this A side. That bomb is starting to go down, and RJ's gonna try and find a kill, trying to wait for
Last player
round.
standing.
Unfortunately, not able to line up that headshot. Loco will be able to grab that kill, and now it is left just up to Navi on this Sova against 4. Probably best to just go in, try to get any amount of action happening as possible. Able to find one onto Flames. Very nicely done. Reload. Whoa, very nice quick shot. There's a new sheriff in town here. Nobody is hanging out towards these default areas. Kyle likely has that Killjoy utility very set up. That glass is gonna break and let Navi know that Apples is hanging out there. That turret to get destroyed. The location to be revealed. Our drone likely going to be able to give away even more information. That tag not quite going to land, and unfortunately, as we mentioned, that Killjoy utility going to make it that much more difficult for Navi to get this one home for Colossal, as Polarity get another one.
Although, very good try by Navi. Navi, beautiful sheriff shots, if we may say. Just beautiful crosshair placement. Able to get 2. You're happy if you get those 2, right? Your economy probably wasn't the greatest, but after those 2, you get to build up a little bit more. You get an extra 1,000 in the bank for the next following round. Maybe possibly buy your friend a gun if they need it, if you guys don't happen to successfully win this round. And let's talk about the ultimates on the board here, Becky. We do have the Blaze Storm as well as the lockdown coming out for Polarity. It looks like they might decide to use it onto this B site, but first we do get that notification coming out from, I believe it was Loco here, onto this B site to allow them to take full control. The drone does indeed peek out Navi and gets taken down, but Loco able to reciprocate here. And Flames, okay Flames, you keep popping off. We see you. And the bomb is planted, and now the retake has to happen once again with the man disadvantage for the side of Colossal.
Oh my gosh, and Verix has an operator, but the blind is going to be good. Dark cover to also make it that much more difficult to get any kind of action happening with this operator. Lots of hangouts happening. That tailwind is going to dissipate, so I'm not going to be able to dash away. Swap that classic, able to peek around, pick up one very nice dash
player
away
standing.
as well. Likely just going to try and keep this operator as much as possible. Fix one immediately goes to the Blade Storm, but Flames with the timely peek around, trying to decide if we want that operator, but ultimately decides don't need to worry about it. Going to keep this Phantom and 5 rounds in Polarity's back pocket.
They are doing so beautiful. This is something that we did not see, Becky, on Split, which was the aggression, the confidence, the moving in together, the fluidity of the utility used together. And we're seeing it now. And look at the score.
I mean, yeah, I think that there's a big difference in the type of utility that can be used by the difference in agents. I mean, and previously they were utilizing something like the Sage, and the difference between early round utility by the Sage compared to something like a Sova is so different, and as a result, we are getting to see a very different side of Polarity. Speaking of a different side of Polarity, we do see Apples go ahead and fall there. RJ with a very nice flank, able to take out Kyle, and losing Kyle means that they lose that lockdown as well. But the distraction is going to be good enough, though we did see Kyle fall. We do see the bomb go down on the other side of the map. 5 members of defense remain. The rest of the attackers are set up, and Fruity able to pick up 2 is going to be a great asset into keeping the 2 remaining attackers in a great spot to keep this bomb from
One enemy remaining.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Flames. Oh no, Varix just has a Marshall. Oh no.
Those were some beautiful why am I losing the word? We were just talking about words that escaping our mind, and I am as good. This word is reflex, flick of the wrist coming out from Fruity, and not just Fruity, but Flames through the smoke. Wow, talk about really finding their shots, no pun intended.
Finding their shots and finding their stride in this game, something that we weren't really seeing from them on the previous map. I mean, again, maybe it is just like whoever starts out on attack is the one that really is able to find it and get going, moving and grooving. Because all of a sudden, we are kind of just seeing a lot of strong attacking action coming up for both of these teams. But unfortunately, if you stay in range of that beacon, you likely will get aggressed on, and that does mean that they cannot pick up that nice early kill. Unfortunately for Varix, not able to finish off Kyle on that long-range duel. And that does mean that that Owl Drone potentially going to gather a little bit of information as to the relocation of Varix, but not too shabby nonetheless. Flame's gonna just continue to take some shots through the smoke, trying to figure out exactly where the aggression is going to be most well utilized. Cal and Varix trying to wait, make sure that they have this little bit of a crossfire set up should they try to go in here. Varix gonna go ahead and also make some shots through the smoke. Ooh, but now Cal has information that because of those shots, somebody is hanging out towards the mid side, waits for the aggression to come through, gets to pick off Flames. Unfortunately, that second peek not going to go Cal's way. Thankfully, Varix is there for that trade-off, 30 HP, but for once, an advantageous situation for the defensive side here. Left. Kyle and Apples to remain and just waiting for this utility to come back up and figure out exactly how they're going to go about retrieving this bomb.
Oh, very low, but doesn't matter. Peeks on through. Kyle, A health and retrieve the grenade. Repositions, and RJ is finally able to see. Now Kyle, now Apples, the last man standing, says Navi, not for long, for I shall have the last laugh. And indeed, the first point on the board for the side of Colossal Gaming. Okay, they're waking up. Good morning, Colossal.
Good morning, and you know, hopefully we can get some coffee in your cup. I mean, I've heard that Folgers is pretty good, but that's just what the advertisements tell me. And hopefully they'll be able to, you know, get some caffeine. Maybe they're G Fuel people, who knows. But hopefully they can use whatever they've got in their cupboards to keep themselves in this game and going strong. Because they need to, if they're going to try and give themselves an even half as the recon bolts come out. That's what we love to see. The beautiful recon bolts that just light up all of the enemies. Navi, though, unfortunately suppressed, can't pop that Hunter's Fury to get a ton of equity out of that. Has to force back because that Owl's Drone knows the people are pushing on this side, and unfortunately just not looking at the one to peek out first. RJ though with a nice moment to trade back there onto Flames.
It's going to be the RJ spray onto Loco. For Loco, it does come out on top. But Cal there to help a friend out when they are down, ready to pick him up. But they have to worry about the 3 remaining attackers who are now playing post plant. It's going to be a shock bolt to do some damage. A little too far away though, unfortunately. And Cal does manage to get Fruity out of the way. It's going to be a 3-on-2. The lockdown does come through for the side of the defenders. And now it's all down left to Apples, who does go down to Cal's. And just like that, we are already starting to see sights of life coming out for Colossal Gaming, and already building up once again Zemna's lockdown.
I mean, that was kind of just an unfortunate situation. We saw Loco decide to go ahead and try to shoot RJ while RJ was down in that ultimate, and then the moment that you decide to go and do that extra damage to that downed KO, Cal just said, "Oh, hello," and popped out of the shadows and said, "I'm here to rescue my friend." Got that stabilization off and brought that KO back to life, and really just kind of bringing themselves back to life in this game as well. 2 points, 2 rounds in a row, and slowly making this climb back into this game.
Slowly but surely, and with that, they do have defenders have two ultimates, two big ultimate. Well, I guess, but I feel so bad for Omen because people always debate whether the Omen ultimate is that useful. I mean, gathering information and possibly getting in the back line of the attackers could help out Cal, but Navi though does have that Hunter Spirit, which could allow the stoppage of a push, and as we can see, it might be a really aggressive A push. The bomb is there, but I love this whole setup coming out from Kyle on that entry to be ready for these attackers to push onto the site.
Yeah, and followed up but by that grenade that could be popped as well, should they decide to. Flames kind of just waiting to see if anyone decides to get aggressive. Unfortunately, that is just not going to be the case. We are seeing Colossal Gaming do a great job of playing this extremely patiently. Dark cover back up for Fruity, and it looks like they're just waiting for that dark cover to get a nice little placement and then push. Ooh, as we see, as you mentioned, that from the shadows, potentially useless, but got a ton of information there. Was able to see where all the attackers were sitting and hiding, and just like that, Polarity decide, well, the jig is up. We have 30 seconds. We can't really move to the other side. They know we're here. Let's just push on, and as they do, members of the attacking side fall very quickly, and all of a sudden it is left just up to Kyle and Loco. Line from that paranoia gonna do wonders. Cal and RJ clean it up, and now they're half the points of Polarity.
Oh man, I call things too early, Becky. I'm one of those casters. I'm like, I either curse it or I call it too early. But I'm just gonna say there is half a way through to those remaining lead coming out from Polarity, and something that Colossal Gaming has done wonderfully on this leading up to this comeback is the fact that they are adjusting very well. They're using their utility to stop, and I called for maybe not too much of an early rotate, but when you literally have silence on the other side of the map, that's a good call to rotate over and help a friend out. And with that usage of from the shadows gathering so much information, it was easy. You just play time, use the utility, and then you clean up after your friends, which we saw them do wonderfully. Now, though, this time they have to worry about this mid control, which I kind of feel like Polarity needs to take advantage of the fact that the KJ is setting up onto the safe site. That mid has little to no stoppage, so getting control would make sense. Gather up as much space as you can, but they seem to want to aggress onto the safe site.
Grenade was thrown out and kind of forced them out to back a little bit, but the moment that they're able to throw out that pop flash, they decide to aggress. Unfortunately, Zemna's only able to pick up one before Flames and Fruity get some action right back, though. The Asian advantage going in the direction of the attackers after all of that is said and done, so not going to be feeling too bad about that as they decide to use that advantage and rotate themselves onto the other site of B, as Kyle has made their way onto that site and is like, y'all, the coast is clear. Let's go, move over,
30
come
seconds
on
left.
in, let's go plant on this swamp, and I'll set up a great... Oh, Cal.
That is timing at its finest. Yeah, we feel it, and now the bomb, though, is made its way fully there. It's a 2-on-4 here, as we do have the Hunter's Fury. Is there gonna be enough time to? No, the bomb does go down. Able to do some damage onto Loco, and now making it 3v2. Very doable if they can get another weapon that isn't the operator in the hands of Varix.
And as that Hunter's Fury went out, that means that this lockdown is that much more available. Navi, the only one remaining now, kind of just forced back because the lockdown knows that Flames is in a really up close spot, trying to peek around, trying to see if anyone is here, trying to see if he can grab this operator and get away scot-free, and Flames says absolutely not. Gimme this 7th round.
I knew it, Becky. I shouldn't have said anything, but I continued with my point, and now we are here. Colossal Gaming going to take a moment to reset their mental, and I like it. We talked about breaks coming in a little bit too late. I don't know why teams do that. If something isn't working and you're finding that there's a huge gap in between y'all, you should definitely talk about it. What is it that is going right for the side of Polarity, Becky?
I mean, so far, we've really just seen them be able to get reliant picks. I don't know if they're able to just know what corners they need to be checking and just getting kind of the jump on Colossal Gaming or what exactly is happening, but they're just landing all of the shots just a little bit better and a little bit more consistently than Colossal Gaming. The rounds that Colossal Gaming are winning are still rounds where they're just utilizing utility a little bit better. And I mean, we saw that strength on the previous map, so it makes sense that that would still be their strength here, but the difference this time is that Polarity just feels a little more comfortable with their crosshair placement on this map, and it's going a lot better for them so far.
I mean, that 4-point lead is definitely a statement for that, as well as Flames, when you have your duelist creating that space, and not just creating the space, but also capitalizing on it, getting kills, as we see 14 and 6 already working its way towards another Blade Storm is a scary sight to see. We do have just 2 more remaining rounds, and if Colossal Gaming wants to make it a more fair fight for the switch off, then they're gonna have to get these last 2 and bring us to a 7-5 for the half. But the aggression coming out from Polarity onto the safe site is just another bait, as the bomb is over onto B, but I don't know, maybe they're talking about it and saying, oh my goodness, KJ volley setup on point. We love to see it.
I mean, I love that adaptation. I think that we tried to see Zemnaz do it last round too, but we'd actually seen Polarity go ahead and push through trees. And because the push through was 2 trees, Zemnaz actually fell before that utility was able to really get utilized. So I love just saying, you know what, if I couldn't use it last round, maybe they're not prepared for it. Unfortunately, speaking of being unprepared, Navi, not prepared for what's going to happen the moment that you get that paranoid. And Fruity just says, I get to walk onto site. Unfortunately, somebody else who gets to walk onto site is Cal, picking up 2 kills there on Apple, but Kyle is sitting here, is waiting, switched off of that operator and a little more up close, a weapon of the sheriff, and we've seen Kyle be crazy with it a few times and continues to be crazy with it.
I asked for it, Becky. I said, Kyle, Flames, and Fruity, I'm gonna need y'all to turn it up. Even Loco's there, surviving, doing their job as a KO, but Flames has really turned it up, and Kyle consistently being the glue to the team, being able to use the operator, but not just the operator, the sheriff on point, is what is allowing, just like you said, leading up to this point. Now, this is down to the last point of the half. If Colossal Gaming wants to have a easier time on the attack, they're going to need this point underneath their belts, and Varix is going to work hard for it, and indeed gets rewarded for the aggression going down to mid. The operator is down. Applesop able to capitalize for his team, gets a 2K already underneath the belt, looking for another, but the whole gang is over onto this A site. Is that Molly gonna connect? Okay, no, it doesn't.
For a little bit of damage,
Spike planted.
Not gonna be able to take Flame's head off. Now, small flash, excuse me, to come out from RJ, peeking around, but not gonna be able to see anybody just yet. And I speak too soon. Flames coming into that crosshair, unfortunately, as Cal also picks one up, and all of a sudden, we're in an even game, but Fruity
One
does
enemy
have a
remaining.
great position, gets that defocus pick despite being
One
terrible.
enemy remaining.
Okay, Cal.
With the 180 from Cal is very good, trying to TP away and stay safe from that Hunter's Fury. A second TP to look above you. Oh my gosh. Wow, there was a reload from Cal, and it's such an unfortunate time despite the TPs. That was, if that had gone Cal's way, I would have shed a tear. That was going to be so beautiful. I'm actually so sad.
That would have been the clip of the year. The brain on Cal to know to teleport and then reposition once again. Unfortunately, weapons need a reload after you shoot too many of them. Just gonna throw that out there. So if you're thinking of doing a really cool play, not that you actually plan something like that, but if you do, please make sure you reload until you fully commit to that type of situation. Congratulations to Navi for the flick, being able to look up right away and getting that shot. I mean, come on, Navi had to have the quickest flick on that to be able to collect. And now we are, anyways, on the second half here, Becky. We have flip sides. We have seen comebacks. Is this going to be the case for Colossal Gaming?
Oh, I mean,
Yikes.
that's certainly not a great start to it if it is Varix getting a swift end from Flames. But on the other side, we've talked about mid control on other maps. We can talk about it on this map as well. A lot of pros think that it is one of the most important parts of this map, and so far so good, is allowing for the attackers to really get themselves a good spot, as Zemna is also aggressively getting into tree area, able to pick off one, but does get a little punished for it by Loco, unfortunately. Suppressed, but not for much longer, as two of these members of Colossal Gaming using this buddy system, Navi and RJ. Unfortunately, the moment they stop using the buddy system, Navi falls. That's what you get. You can't Scooby-Doo it. You gotta stick together. It never goes well for the Scooby Squad, and it's not gonna go
30
well
seconds
for
left.
you.
Oh my goodness, Cal. Really deep onto this B site. Little does he know there is two folks already onto the site. He has to check back up. Oh, the blind comes
player
through.
standing.
Oh, so
Spike down
near.
B.
That near side does not go in
10
the
seconds
favor
left.
of Cal, and now it's down left to simple little RJ, who does have a flashpoint, goes on through, but guess what? In return to that flashpoint, there is a recon bolt, and there is also a Kyle with a weapon that does not miss.
And, I mean, we're kind of seeing a very, well, we're not seeing a very similar song and dance to last game. Because last game, when Colossal Gaming were up 10-2 at the half, they did not win the pistol round. This time, the team that is up has won the pistol round and kind of gets to continue their momentum. And, I mean, off the back of that, sure, it was a 9-3 half, so, like, this isn't going to lead them directly into match point. We'll still have, like, a little bit of a chance where Colossal will have the gun advantage. But we're still in a rough spot. That Recon Bolt is going to gather a ton of information for this defensive side. And now we just wait for Kyle to be able to peek out once again with that Sheriff. We've seen what that Sheriff can do. Unfortunately, losing Apples this early is a little bit of a shame. Varix is taking a ton of damage. Navi's going to go ahead with those shock darts, try to get a little bit of damage across, but not good for much so far. Has the other shock dart ready and is waiting to see she's going to push through this door that's been blown down. Will be prepared. Dark cover to come out. Unfortunately, the shot's a little bit faster from Flames. Mean that is going so far so good for the defensive side. Pretty to pick up yet another
player
one.
standing.
Varix, Zemna, the RJ, all fall. It is just up to Cal. The Sheriff finds one, trying to find another, and it's just not going to be enough. And 11 points will be the score for Polarity.
Polarity just running with it, and I hate to say it, but this is going to be the next round is going to be in the back pocket of Polarity once again, because it was Colossal Gaming who decided, you know what, we don't believe in saving after we lose the pistol round. We believe in full buying, and now they are down. I mean, we see a Sheriff in the hands of Varix, and Navi bringing out a Ghost with the light shield, but it kind of seems to me, Becky, if you're agreeing to like full buy the second round, that you're okay with giving up this map, and that might be the case here, because there's only so much you can do. You know, there's only so much you can do with a Sheriff and a Ghost. I mean, there is hopes, there is dreams, and people have done the unbelievable. Will that be the case coming up in this following round? I'm bleak on that.
Yeah, I would put the numbers not in Colossal Gaming's favor, but I certainly, I mean, I hope to be surprised. I hope that they come up with the strategy of the century and are able to, like this bear, you know, kind of peek in, get some information, and use that to get themselves a couple more wins, get a little bit of fight back in them, because they're down a lot, but we kind of saw Polarity almost pull back after a potential rough first half previously, so maybe they can take a page out of their book.
There is a lot of maybes. We are very nice, by the way, Becky. I feel like we're giving them hope here, and I hope they feel it as they go into the following round. Mind you, folks who are just joining us, this is the second map. This is the map choice of Polarity. The first map went in the way of Colossal Gaming, which was split, and if this goes on to be a 1-1, we will be going to the cold land of Icebox.
I'm excited to see some ice box action. And should we get there, Polarity still has time to, start to falter. But on that same kind of side of the coin, Colossal has a lot of time to come back into this game. They are a little bit lighter on buys going into this round, so they're going to have to get a little bit cheeky, get a little bit creative if they want to get themselves some jobs in this round. I mean, a nice start there. Zemnon getting a kill onto Apples. Unfortunately, though, Fruity with a nice little trade right back, though the attackers are onto site and will have a good kind of up close and personal setup. Unfortunately, RJ getting some tags. Kyle not able to finish him off. That arcane sheriff just not quite landing where you would want. Sets up that turret, but sets up that turret right in the dark cover. So not going to be able to get some shots towards a lot of these low health opponents just yet. We do see the cow has another dark cover, but is waiting a moment before deploying it.
That flashpoint gives away the location of 3, but Flames does not care. It's RJ with the sheriff, able to connect once, but then Loco says, that's it. We need a point on the board, and unfortunately, we are going down to the match point here, Becky. 12-3 on the board. The last hope is coming through right after this, and the economy for the side of Colossal Gaming, just enough. Actually, they do have enough to buy out here, so they're gonna go out, and they're gonna go out with what is their remaining economy. They're close to a lockdown if they are strategical and getting that orb, as well as maybe even farming up for a Blade Storm as well on Varix if they're able to get a kill, and then possibly even the orb as well. But the aggression is going to go in the way of a site where Flames is showing off with an operator. Good for one. Now repositioning just in case they push on through. Zemnaz gonna spam through the smoke. The spams through the smoke has been real and has been getting a bash. This time around, it's gonna be RJ coming up on top. One more. Fruity going down. Flames good for one, but then gets taken down by Navi. And the bomb is finally going down.
And I mean, it's gotta be going. They've got to set themselves up, and they got to be ready for the 3 defensive remaining players to get on to this site. Guns traded between players here. Really gonna try and allow for this Vandal to be able to hold up this Owl Drone around here. Gonna be gathering information as to where the attacking players are, and so far so good. Using that little bit of a buddy system, Owl Drone plus Killjoy, myself robots of all kind. Huge kills, Cal to take out 1, but ultimately it is not gonna be enough. Polarity show that they can keep up with the utility usage and get themselves.
Defenders win.
Okay, everyone.
I expected this. I expected this because it was Actually, I didn't. I lied. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect for Polarity to bring it back. I'm sorry. Hello, welcome back to our host, Crow. Hello.
Hi there. Yeah. Wow. What a wonderful game of Valorant that was. Just, I think it's fair to say that this Polarity team is awake now because oh my God, did they kick down some doors and just completely outmuscle Colossal Gaming here.
Oh, that's putting it nicely.
Yeah, you're so nice.
Gotta keep it a little PG, I guess.
Yeah. We understand.
We just watched such a different game from that first one. I mean, had the second half of the split game gone as similarly as this game did, like, we watched a very long game number 1. We watched a 49-minute game number 1. This one was about 34 minutes. And the difference is that the team that was ahead in the first half continued to hold on to that lead going into the second half, whereas Colossal Gaming couldn't really do that on Split, which Split was their map choice. They did end up winning, but the way that they faltered definitely, especially now after watching this game, makes me a little bit worried for their third map pick, which we were kind of talking about it. A lot of these maps that are so old, everyone has strategies for. It's not just you, it's not just your team, and a lot of this time you're picking these to be comfortable, but that has kind of this double-edged sword element to it as well. So I'm definitely worried for Colossal Gaming after watching this gaming. Polarity just really showed up with style. 13-3 makes me very scared for how this final game is going to go.
Yeah, struggling to find the words after seeing how well they did. Like it was just such a night and day difference, like you were saying. Like this polarity lineup rather, really turned on all the burners and just kept up that momentum that they had. Yeah, they lost game one, but they barely lost game one, and they showed
Mhm.
that they had the potential and ability to bring this all the way to a game three like they have. And I want to say big kudos to Kyle on this Killjoy. Man, how do you play like the most duelist centric, not duelist agent like that? Like this man was really unafraid of taking any 1v1, any 1v2s at all. He's like, all right, that's fine, whatever, let's do it, let's run it up. Just clutch after
Yeah.
clutch, man.
Yeah, I also have to agree. Kyle, yes, but Flames. Flames was
Flames,
the it
yeah.
duelist.
Completely
Uh,
different this game compared to the last game.
yes.
Completely.
Yeah, the first game a little lackluster. Sorry, Flames. I have to say, I can't always be nice. The second
Maybe
one
just not a race
showed up.
player.
Yeah, yeah, that could totally be it. But yeah, polarity showing why they are dominant. I would say though, I made a joke about it, which was, is it whoever starts on attack that is going to be victorious? Now I am wondering who's going to be on attack on this icebox. Is it going to be polarity or is it going to be colossal? And maybe my theory might become a reality, and I could start using that every time I cast. Is it going to be who's on attack or defense? Who's going to come up on top? I don't know. We shall find out.
Yeah, for sure. Becky, any thoughts on this game too? Because it was
Oh,
kind of
so
crazy.
many. I mean, I think you beautifully said it. I kind of gave a little smack talk to the Killjoy pick from both of these teams at the start of it. I just think that if you're gonna pick a Sentinel at this point in the game, especially if you know that if you're picking a KO and somebody else is gonna be picking up a KO, I'd rather just have the Chamber on board. But I mean, Kyle, I was like, if you're going to be picking up the Killjoy, it's got to be because you're comfortable in Killjoy. If you're moving your normal Chamber players off of Chamber and having somebody else go onto a Sentinel, you got to just be comfortable on the Killjoy. Kyle definitely seems like a player comfortable on the Killjoy, was happy to utilize it going into this game. I don't know that I can say the same for Zemnaz, who previously was on the Sage and was so good on the Sage, used the Sage utility so well, especially alongside RJ, and it just, we didn't get to see that same kind of tag team from Colossal Gaming that we were previously seeing. And I mean, maybe they did just have a really strong game plan for Split and weren't really prepared for Ascent, which boggles my mind because, again,
Mhm.
both of these maps are very old. The fact that you wouldn't have a plan for these maps, or maybe they do have a plan, it just got so quickly derailed by what Polarity was doing. Anyway you slice it, it was an absolutely oppressive game from Polarity. And based on the fact that we saw Flames completely do a 180 as far as aggression and comfort level was concerned, the moment that we saw Flames go to this jet, as well as Varix, the person who picked up the jet, being at the bottom of the board, I'm very scared for Icebox because that is a jet map.
Yeah, it was very interesting to see. Like this was essentially a mirror matchup, agent wise, across the board, and Polarity showed they can do it better. So, that being said, game three predictions, real quick at the top of the day. Anyone want to change theirs, or are we still trucking with it? We'll start with Q Noob.
I'm all right.
Oh, yeah, Becky, go for
Actually,
it. Get
Becky wants it to
ready.
go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
go,
I'm ready to
Becky.
go because I'm ready to change. I previously said that I thought Colossal was going to win it. I thought that they did a pretty okay job in that first game. Even though they kind of faltered a little bit, they eventually pulled it together. But now that I've seen the agent selection from Polarity and how strong they were with these agents that I think are very similar to the agents that are going to be utilized on Icebox, it's kind of making me change my tune. So I'm going to go with changing my predictions to Polarity.
Love it so
Welcome to
much.
the dark side, Becky. Yes, I agree.
It is Revenge
Polarity.
of the Fifth. So
I was gonna I was gonna say though, you had that question of why is it that we saw a little bit of a mix up for Ascent for the side of Colossal Gaming, and we talked about it at the beginning, Becky. This is a brand new spanking team. It's a new team. So the fact that they don't have strats for Ascent, it's because it's a fresh new team. You play differently with a new team composition. And that's why at the beginning I said Polarity was going to take it all because they do have those three solid glue players that have been together for more time. So they kind of have, even if they don't have a strategy, they know how each other plays and they could play off of each other. And I think that's what's going to lead them to be successful onto Icebox, is the fact that they have played this. I know for a fact Polarity has dominated on Icebox with the previous team, so I don't think that they're going to falter onto this third map. That's mine right there.
All right, you heard it here. Everybody is on that polarity train, and we're going to ride it all the way to the Icebox station. I will be stepping away once again as we're going to go straight into Agent Select here for game number 3. No breaks, no gas. Let's get into it. Ladies, take it away.
I mean, we know that that's what chat wants to see. Chat doesn't want us to take breaks. Chat wants us to go right cruising into it, and we're here to give chat what they want. The casters are starting the game. You heard it here first.
Facts. We are here to please, and hopefully so are our two teams here, ready to give us the best of the best Valorant content that we could ask for. I love Zemnaz on the sky. We've seen Zemnaz just bounce around from like controller, sentinel to like initiator. Now you have another initiator. Okay, Zemnaz, we know you could do it all. We see you. We understand. All right, I am stoked for that. But on the side of Polarity, I love Fruity bringing out the Viper. Viper is a staple.
You gotta do the Viper.
Yeah.
If there's a map that just is like Viper's home, it's Breeze and it's Icebox. So if you're a Viper main, you like the sunny weather and you like the frigid cold, and you don't like the in between.
No, sirrito. For the side of Colossal, I like the fact that they're bringing out the chamber once more on Varix. Varix doing a phenomenal job. I've seen so many
Choose your
fantastic plays from Varix, and not Varix, but just chambers in general on Icebox, just holding down mid or also locking down B side just by themselves. So to be able to have chamber on one side of the map and have a Viper on the other side of the map, and I guess you know why, let's just throw in a Sage as well to hold down your mid. Every single angle into a site is going to be on lockdown for the side of Colossal Gaming.
Okay, so the only difference that we're seeing for these two teams, Flame's going to continue to hold to this comfort pick of the Jet. Somebody that was top of the board, top frag for the team last time, holding on to that. Zemnaz, the only one with a difference in agent, and it's the Sky. No duelists for the side of Colossal Gaming. How do we feel about that?
It's an idea. We have seen it falter together, Becky. We have seen a no duelist team composition, and they failed to get on site and plant. Is that going to be the case for the side of Colossal? I don't know. If they could get enough points on this defense, I think that might be a win for them, because they have to win less rounds on attack. But if it starts to falter already at the defense, I'm sorry to say, but I do think that the Colossal Gaming will go down if they can't get enough rounds onto the defending sided half.
Yeah, I'm kind of inclined to agree with you, but I've seen it not work when casting with you, but then in other places I have seen it work. So I'm a little bit torn, and I think ultimately we'll be able to kind of pick up on the comfort of these picks based on how they play on this defensive side. We did see Varix have a very comfortable chamber game, and we're getting to see it once again. I mean, Varix and Apples were kind of playing Highlander previously when they were both playing the chamber, and we're getting to see a refresh of that all over again. And I think that if Varix continues to just play this very oppressive chamber, we might have more of a game on our hands, and it's going to kind of be the battle of Varix versus Flames on this Jet, and we're just going to see who is going to come out on top of it.
So far, a man down for the attackers here, but the bomb isn't even in the area code of Varix. The bomb decided, you know what, Varix is a little bit too spicy for us. His shots are on point. We're going to aggress this B site. The Viper wall is there, but so is the Sage wall to help with that safe plant. It's going to be a retake from his defenders. Two of them were over onto the A site, so it's going to take a little bit longer for them to get onto it. The flash comes through from Zemnaz.
And now the counter wall to go for the defuse. Zemnod waiting for somebody to push through. Instead, actually going to be the one to push through. Kills all across the board. Cal with a nice
player
peek around,
standing.
able to find one. But ultimately, Fruity to get the defuse. Actually going the defensive side despite Fruity picking up the 3K. Actually a heartbreaker, but also, I mean, heart breaks, but also heart pounding first round.
That is a really, 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 really good round coming out for the defenders there. I don't know how, I don't know when, but
Pros don't
that
fake.
worked
You
out.
gotta stick
Yeah.
it.
You just gotta go for it. Apparently, that's what I'm gonna do next time around. And if I die, Becky, I am blaming it on you for telling me to hold.
You can blame it on
onto
me.
it.
You can give me a call and you can yell at me. It's okay. I'll handle it. It's okay. I can be a soldier to cry.
Yay! I appreciate that, but the aggression is going to come down onto this B site. The Viper is going to back up just a tad bit for the friends to come on over. They were able to successfully defend one, so they're going to look for the second defense here. The wall coming through, but the Vipers snake bite happening there, doing a little bit of damage onto the stage. Not just a little bit. Loco is down to a strain of health, although the heal is there, thankfully, and now the defenders are pushing on through. They do have a weapon advantage. The Cloud is there. Is the lineup there for the Viper? Yes, indeed it is. They try to hold, but no, dies to the poison.
Oh my
And
gosh.
now it is down left to Apples. Going to be lurking about. Notices that one, but it's the swing through.
Enemy remaining.
Cal holds, and he
Get it
gets
off of a
it.
defuse again! Oh my gosh, you just can't let this defensive side hold it down because they will just stick it. We can't be going for these lurks if you're gonna lose to defuses twice while you still have people alive. We gotta start learning and we gotta start adapting as soon as possible, Polarity.
I mean, I hope they've learned the lesson twice in a row. You feel bad. You also did buy up that round. Actually, no, you saved up. So nice. They're going to have enough weapons here. But for the side of Colossal, they are kind of struggling on this buy up. They do have a Bulldog to rely on, but Apple says, don't worry, Cal. You're going to get taken down. Give that trade off, Varix. Virk's getting aggressive onto this defense, but the rest of the gang is over onto this A site, and they are fully planting, folks.
Oh, and it looks like we're just doing a full ring around the rosy here. 3 members of the defensive side deciding we don't want to come from our side of the map. We're going to sneak all the way around from your side. Let's go ahead and come all the way around here. Kyle goes for a ping, knows that somebody is there, but using this wall to their advantage. Zemnaz drops, doesn't get shot at though, so nobody's gonna know that Kyle is here. Decides to push forward and unfortunately gonna be taken out for that decision. Navi is trying to go for this defuse, trying to stick it, but a nice adaptation from Polarity means that they're able to grab that kill and themselves around.
Oof, just beautifully done. They needed that round. They got it nice and easy. Fruity was there making sure to clean up town for the rest of his teammates. And they are going to have that Viper's Pit nice and early. And I love the Viper's Pit on A site. I love getting onto the nest, riding that rope, getting onto 410 and popping that Viper's Pit, just being able to hold it. There, it forces the defenders to have to push into the unknown, literally.
And so far, so good, and able to keep a lot of guns into this round. Barracks, instead of utilizing the guns, actually going for that Twitter forces, you were able to hear over those comms. Fruity on the attacking side does have the Viper's Pit ready.
Blinded.
Apple's 1 point away from that Twitter force of his own, so looking quite strong at the start here. As we are, well, not really blazing. We're blazing at a very slow pace. The Trailblazer is going to be able to spot off Flames. His Flames is up quite far, while the rest of the attacking side kind of just trying to gather information elsewhere, trying to see if anyone pushes out through into their own spawn, trying to see if they can get any information up towards mid, trying to decide exactly where they're going to end up going. We saw Polarity kind of play a slow game on the attacking side on the previous map, and it looks like they're kind of taking that same kind of stride at the start of this map. A recon bolt going to be the start here. Flames, though, not quite going to be tagged out. So information going to stay pretty safe for the attacking side. Peek out finally comes around. Able to grab that kill onto Navi. Unfortunately, not going to have the jump on the RJ, though. It will be Fruity to fall as well before Loco can actually make that trade back in this 3v3 situation. Loco to get another kill from that peek onto Zemnaz, and now finally going to be able to get that plant. Has the resurrection ready, and Flames will come back, though that snake bite making it that much more difficult to stay alive. Flames immediately falls again, and Kyle picks off that kill onto Cal.
It's now down left to Varix, but Loco says, not for long, I have got this. And let's talk about the feels bad moment when you get rezzed and then you immediately
and then you just die.
Yeah.
You just like kind of get a glimpse back into the world again, and then you're on the floor.
You're crushed, and that's exactly what Flames just saw. So let's get some RIP in the chat for Flames. We feel your pain, but don't you worry, your team's got your back. They got that point on the board, and they also still have that Viper's Pit, and now you get to have also your Blade Storm and close to that Toward the Force, as you mentioned before, for Apples. For the defending side and half, they're going to have to really, really play it slow and play for picks here as well, since they were just down left to the Sheriffs.
Yeah, we see Zemnaz trying to see if nobody's here. I'll try and grab that old Torb, but based on the amount of sound that is happening, that owl drone bringing through means that we are backing off, caught in this slow orb, but trying to still hold an aggressive angle. I like the decision. I like the creativity of that play, and it does mean the attacking side, after throwing in a lot of utility, are choosing to just go ahead and move to a different side. But unfortunately for the attackers, Cal, right place, right time, getting aggressive as you wouldn't expect a Viper on a save round to be. Gets rewarded for it with a nice little headshot onto that chamber, and now just kind of gets to fall back. I love when we see... Oh, okay, Zemnaz just went, oh, Viper, you're so pretty, I couldn't possibly shoot you, and falls there as well. So nice little trade back to make us an even 4-4 once more.
Yeah, the bomb, though, is going to commit over onto the safe side. That recombo is going to let them know that everybody from the attackers is on there. The bomb's getting planted, but the Hunter's Fury says, no, you are not. The bomb does make it through, though, and now they're going to have to retake the site. It is a man advantage for the defenders, but not the weapon, as Flames good for 2. The lurk is about the Viper's Pit for the defenders is up and going, and look, hey, let me get rewarded real quick with a Vandal here, but Flames is right above Cal, able to spray down onto the side. Cal needs to be a bit patient, is indeed, and gets one, looking for the second Flames, who does come out on top, and it's a 3-2 on the board. So close, Becky.
That was, I mean, okay. I feel like both of those other games were back and forth in weird ways. One was a stomp. This is what I wish all those other games were like. This level of back and forth, this level of closeness in every single round. I mean, what a game 3 that we're already having.
We're getting a tree. I'm telling you, we are getting so spoiled, Becky, that if the rest of the games for this league don't go like this, my heart is going to break. Because this has been the most even, if not close, matchup I have seen all throughout. These two teams are both wonderful, as we've seen. They both have highlights. They both have players that have that clutch gene. And as we see, the bomb does get planted onto the safe side, and they are going to... Polarity is going to have to hold off Colossal Gaming on this retake. They do get some information with that Trailblazer. They're trying to gather more if they can by pushing up. That recon bolt is going to come through. Cal does get taken down. Not before, though, able to get two. Zemnaz also getting aggressive. Does get rewarded. The Hunter's Fury coming out. The bomb is halfway through. There is a lurk on mid from Apples, but the bomb is getting held once again, and they're going to get caught out. And they are going to get the point down.
All of the defensive side rounds won by grabbing defuses while members of the attacking side are still alive. It is, in fact, your eyes do not deceive you. Every single round that the defensive side of Colossal Gaming have won has been defuses. They've stuck it. They've just held it. It's been on that B site. They've been able to just sit there, defuse the bomb while members of the attack are still alive. Maybe we just shouldn't be going B. If it's not going our way, if we're not able to stop people from defusing, maybe we should just go A every single time.
Or here's an opposing counter argument here, Becky. Maybe we get rid of the Sage, the defending Sage, so that the defuses aren't possible.
I mean,
Just
maybe
a
we should
thought.
get rid of Victoris so that Polarity can actually get onto a site. Because starting off with 2 down, and those 2 down being that duelist that we mentioned is so important. I thought we were looking at somebody just like waiting to shoot Kyle. We're actually looking at Loco,
Me too,
making sure that Kyle is okay.
Talk about a really great friend right there. Good job, Kyle. Way to watch the back. But Cal, oh, the pre-fire trades, betrays Cal there. As Kyle and Cal go at it, Kyle does end up on top, folks. Don't you worry. The attackers are making their way onto this A site. It is Kyle with the lurk around trying to gather some attention from these defenders, but Fruity says, I know there's someone here. I'm gonna take them out. And RJ does go down.
Welcome to my world.
At what point, if you're Victoris, do you get mad at your team? Like, all my hard work, I got 2 kills off this off early in the round, and y'all are just not doing it. Unfortunately, for the defensive side, the person planting the bomb does go down. Fruity, though, will be able to pick up that bomb and go for that plant again. Once more, that wall is down. So basically, that Sage did her job. The bomb starting to go down. There's that headhunter out, able to pick up a kill, reload on to this operator, trying to get the defuse, starts to hop on it. Kyle has a recon, peeks around. High ground's gonna be good for Victoris to be able to pick up that kill, firing off that recon bolt, and now it is just up to Zemnaz, who has location revealed, gonna be able to throw out that guiding light, trying to make sure that this will still go in Zemnaz's favor. The jump is gonna be good. We see that bomb. We know that Zemnaz isn't on it. Where is Zemnaz? Where's the peak? And unfortunately, it is gonna go Kyle's way, and the advantage back to Polarity.
Okay. We're ping-ponging back and forth here, Becky. One side wins, the other one takes it back. Economy is okay so far. Actually, no. It is going to be Colossal Gaming who's going to be struggling on the economy, and it is because they either go full out or they just decide to save. And for this round there, it looks like they're going to make a little bit of an investment, as we see Zemnaz getting that frenzy. And I think something that's kind of holding them back is the fact that they are easily getting picked off by the side of Polarity. Polarity is being just so patient and making sure that they're capitalizing on the overextension of Colossal Gaming. And just as we see, they are continuing to push out. It's going to be Flames with the Blade Storm here connecting. Not quite, but hey, they have a friend nearby to help them out, and the rest of the gang is moving on to mid from A site, as they did get that initial pick, like I said, on to Boiler, so that A site looks a lot pleasant here. But RJ takes down Fruity, so Viper is going to be out for the rest of the remaining round. Resurrection is in the back pocket of RJ here if they decide to bring that out, but I think they're just kind of waiting for the rest of their friends to come on by.
Oh, a nice Prime Vandal too. Very nice. Gonna be able to throw that Sheriff over to a friend. Now, gonna be able to also kind of spearhead for the team with this bigger gun by. Unfortunately, not checking that corner, and now the bigger gun by 4. Loco gonna do a lot of favors. Gonna see if we can go a little bit over and pick up that gun. Doesn't need a gun if you can barracks into this chamber with the tour de force. 2 kills, very quick shots. Now, oh, we didn't pick up a gun. The bomb is ticking. Oh no, we're gonna have the Sky hold on to the bomb. Nobody's gonna hold on to the bomb. We're just gonna try and find death, but the death is actually found by Colossal Gaming. Kyle falls too, but it doesn't matter. Polarity get another point.
Polarity starting to build their lead. I think that was an unfortunate oopsie daisy there, Becky, for Kyle. He was like, I want the kills. I don't want the death, but it was that hop at the end that got him caught up in that storm. So you said it. It doesn't matter. I mean, it kind of does, though, when your rest of your team is on light shields. And you could have bought someone a weapon and allowed for someone else to have that heavy shield. But I mean, when you have a 2-point lead, I guess that pays off for it. At this point, though, what isn't paying off for Colossal Gaming is their over-aggression and not being there to trade off each other. You don't need to overextend if you are on the defense. And just once again, Flames catching out RJ onto this A site. Sage is no longer going to be able to help out on this A site.
You will not kill my ally.
It's a little bit unfortunate, but thankfully, if you're a low-kill with a Sage for the side of Polarity, you can resurrect a Jet, and unfortunately, if you're Zemnoz, you're behind a Radianite box, and those are not the best for you to be
Spike planted.
Oh, wow, Cal, we do see that you are very good at finding the headshots, and we see that is a kill onto the Sage here. Recombo does take away the position of Apples as well as
One
Flames,
enemy
so they know
remaining.
exactly where Flames is about. And now, once upon a time, Kyle had so many friends, now down left just his
enemy
lonesome
remaining.
self, but the spray through the wall does come through and does connect. Indeed, now Navi has to hold onto the bomb. But guess what's in the back pocket of Kyle? A Hunter's Fury.
You can't walk into that, oh no, Navi! Oh. I mean, normally we say, hey, listen if we're Navi, but maybe we need to say, hey, watch out, Kyle. A clutch god. I think Kyle has clutched like 3 rounds in a row.
Kyle is ready to lock this map down and take it home.
I mean, and so far it's looking so good for Kyle and the side of Polarity to do that. 6-3 and showing quite well that their composition was ready to blaze on for this comp. And we've mentioned that there's this difference, this key factor between these two compositions. One has the duelist in this Jet, and one has instead an initiator in the Sky, which a long time ago, maybe not that long ago, probably like a year ago, we were at a point where a lot of people were kind of saying that Sky's kind of like a duelist in her own way. She has the flashes, she has a little bit of info along with it, so you can kind of play her in a duelisty fashion, but we've seen kind of KO pick up that mantle more. Speaking of talking about things a little bit more, Cal gets a nice long-range shot with that Marshall. Actually, Hunter's Fury from the defensive side is going to keep that plant from going down just yet and keep everybody at bay, but some nice peeks out from Fruity, Vengeance, and Cal to fall. Gonna be able to get this plant back initiated, trying to burst through this wall, but it doesn't matter. The bomb is down. Fruity with a little bit of damage, but a 4v4 situation nonetheless, as Flames with an aggressive angle peeks out, finds 2, falls to Zemnoz, but it doesn't matter. Kyle to pick up 1 again, just an absolute menace. Finally not going to be able to clutch up in this situation since we are down on players. The decay is good, and we know that the Viper has to have lineups, fires them off, and that means we're actually going to see Zemnoz trying to be aggressive. 5 bullets in the gun, has to try and go for the defuse, has to try and go for something, but the utility is too much. Keeps Zemnoz off the bomb, and Apples to finish it off.
Becky, I can't help but feel like we talked about this before also, and Colossal Gaming doesn't capitalize a lot on their util. Sometimes they throw out a util, but don't have a lot to back it up. For example, you throw out that guiding light, nobody's peeking with that guiding light. In this example specifically, we saw that Zemnoz, yes, they were in a 2v1. They were really healthy, and they did throw out those Seekers, but did not follow through with the Seekers. He kind of just was hoping that if he tapped the bomb, that there would be someone to jiggle peek it. But in that case, when you have 2, you have to be the aggressor, because they're not going to have to. They don't have to do anything besides just hold you off with the bomb. So I would like to see for Colossal Gaming to capitalize more on their utility. I mean, if you're going to throw something that's supposed to be to help out your friend, that needs to come through. And Navi already ready for this A push. There is a resurrection in the hands of RJ if it needs to come down. But so far, nobody has came down for the side of the defenders. And just as I say that, it is RJ who does go down for Zemnoz. Zemnoz is ready to hunt and is able to collect Loco, but Kyle ready to trade off. Now the bomb needs to make a choice. Are they going to aggress onto this super chaotic A site, or do we make our way over onto B? And that is exactly what we are seeing.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen them have a ton of success on this B site, but they were able to make it happen the last round, and they're hoping to make it happen once again. 2v3 situation, so certainly realistic if they can get stuff onto Cal here, and so they do. Apples nicely being able to get that better information, better
One enemy
movement,
remaining.
and, oh my gosh, speaking of movement, Kyle is absolutely crazy with it.
Spike
What was the
planted.
previous
One
now
enemy
a
remaining.
1v1.
Standing
Before I
ahead.
can even finish saying any sentences, our players are at a blazing pace. Recon Bolt to try and gather information, knows that we have to be hanging out towards yellow. We're seeing some pings to give information about the bomb. Apples, nice, patient, waiting, trying to see exactly where people. Oh my gosh, Navi is actually so far. They've almost passed like chips in the night, but thankfully Apples with a nice little peek back. We're going back to like where the Viper was hanging
Last
out to do
round before
lineups,
the
and
switch.
Viper isn't even alive in this game anymore.
There was a little bit of a miscommunication, as we
can buy
could
for you.
see,
My treat.
or not miscommunication, more like timing. I don't know what you would call that, but you were just not checking the right corners, my dude. Yeah, we don't know what happened there.
That's a
But
good
the
start.
lead is growing for the side of Polarity, and we have a running joke, which is if you're on attack, you're gonna win, especially if you're Colossal versus Polarity. And so far, Polarity has taken the reign onto this map. They are also just being really aggressive. Something though that they did wrong that last round, Becky, was they continued to aggress onto a site where there was clearly a lot of people on it. But with this opening pick from Loco, there is a little bit more leniency to hit it. Actually, no, I would say you gotta get out of there. There's way too many bodies already on there.
Yeah, nobody is able to stay alive either. That resurrection did come out, but was immediately shot back down. Varix able to pick up a kill as well, keeping the defensive side in a good position. 3-2-4 now, and we can actually see that Cal, for the defensive side, has utilized that Viper's Pit and is keeping people off of this A side. And also very beautifully being able to pick off Kyle there, top of the board, and that Hunter's Fury off the board is going to make it that much easier for this bomb to go down. Fruity, 1 point away from having a Viper's Pit of their own, and just trying to figure out, do we push onto this site? Will we be able to counteract the Viper's Pit that is currently in play? Will we be able to make anything happen here? The decay is going
31
on
enemy
a
remaining.
shot, and that's all that
Spike
it takes
down
for Cal
A.
to finish off Fruity, and now it is just up to Loco. What would you even do here?
I mean, your economy is okay. I mean, let me take a look here. I believe the economy. Oh.
We just
Oh, you just die. Yeah. That's it. You just die. It is the
Switching
half. You're
sides.
happy with an 8-4. Although I do have to say that an 8-4 on Icebox, very doable.
Yeah.
You get 2 points. You get the pistol round and you get the bonus buy. You could falter on that buy-up round for the side of your defenders, but then you bring back the 4th round. Then you're at a 7-9. That's still 2 points away. You get some solid hits on that, and hey, we're back in business if you are Colossal Gaming. I would say the lack of duelist is worrisome, but I mean, you do have Varix, who has been absolutely phenomenal on the Hunter's Fury and with any weapon, if we may say so. So if you can get those initial picks and then force your way onto site, and then you're really in for a treat.
And so far, we do see Varix actually going to be very aggressive on this high ground, trailblazer to start out too, clearing a lot of those corners and allowing for all of these non-duelist characters to get on side. The Flames has the high ground,
gosh.
unfortunately not able to finish any of those players off.
Spike
He's going to
planted.
be able to go out from that stage as well as that Sky, so a lot of damage able to be brought back up despite a lot of that damage being dealt across from the defensive side. The bomb all of a sudden down, the wall is up. Cal though, 2 kills, very nicely done. The right click coming out, and it's going to be good for Navi. Leading to all of a sudden guiding light to try and keep things down, keep the defensive side blinded. A Loco gonna go ahead, heal themselves, and now just trying to be aggressive, trying to see if they can find some kills before
Last player standing.
Unfortunately, Kyle's not gonna be able to grab one, and Zemnaz to go around. And so far, the no duelist strategy going okay for this attacking side of Blossom.
Yeah, it worked out, but I have to say that it really looked like Polarity just gave up that site completely. And I'm kind of wondering why. You have a Viper and you have a Chamber and you have a Sage. So your mid, your A site, and your B site should be on lockdown completely. You have the Sage to wall off since we have the Sage onto A site. You have your Sage wall off this A main and slow it down as well for those rotations. So if anything, I feel like that was just a big mistake for the side of Colossal Gaming to give it up. And yeah, with that miss was questionable. I thought that was exactly on the knock-in, but I have no idea. But the attackers already smoking through. The last man standing local does go down to Navi, and just like that, we are 2 points away from a tied match, folks.
Yeah, just like that, we see Colossal kind of guns blazing down mid. Varric somehow doesn't get his head taken off by that lineup from Apples, and the rendezvous away with nothing to show for it means that the attackers kind of just get to continue to go through this game at a pretty great pace. Trademark's going to be set up by Varric here.
Focus
And
now.
now
That
I'm
works.
interested to see, when all is said and done, when your opponents have the bigger guns, what exactly will be the play from this no duelist team with lighter buys?
I have to comment on this Viper wall. That is a very aggressive Viper wall. And just like I said, yeah, I love that Flames is capitalized on it. That's something that we saw Colossal Gaming not doing a lot, right? On the defense was capitalizing on the utility. So the fact that Polarity is using the utility and doing something with it is paying off for them, as we see they do take down Viper, which is going to be a little bit troublesome for the attackers here. Flames peeking through mid, able to get rewarded. Now Kyle says, I am here to help out, and Loco as well, giving them a flawless for this defensive sided half.
Oh my gosh, we talk about how important flawless is when you're Spectres against a bunch of pistols, but what's almost more important is when you're Phantoms and Vandals against all Spectres. Being able to just hold onto that economy and keep it as strong as possible just matters so much. So that's going to be a big pickup for this defensive side. I mean, Loco's not even going to go and buy up like full armor. Just going to stay with the light armor from the previous round, call it good, and keep the economy just going so strong. Even if they were to lose this one, they'll still be able to buy up into the next one. So they're in a great spot to fight Flames. Taking a quick little nosedive here.
Yeah, I have questions there. I'm not gonna ask them though. What I am gonna say is Apples is on fire with the Vandal, able to take it down Varric, who is a key component for the side of Colossal Gaming. The spike does get planted now. All that the attackers have to do is play post-plan. They do keep one Sage onto the site. Sage is going to have to make their way onto this maze where the rest of the gang is. And down goes Apples to RJ. Now it's a 3-on-4. The lineups are there and the resurrection as well. Let's bring back Varric to the party just to make sure that this round is easy peasy, nice and clean for the side of Colossal Gaming.
I mean, for once, we're seeing that resurrection kind of go in favor. I mean, Varric fell again, so we didn't really get to stay alive for very long. But for once, the resurrection kind of like baiting the defensive side out and like forcing the matter. Like, you either have to come push into this Viper smoke, or you have to just like let this resurrection go off. Is actually kind of a great play, because then that adds the decay to all the people who are trying to push through to make sure that that resurrection doesn't really come to fruition. And it's just a very nice kind of combination of plays that we're getting to see from Colossal Gaming, who are trying to keep this as close of a game as possible.
Very close game. Varric's able to capitalize on Fruity, but not before RJ does go down indeed. Varric takes down Flames, no longer a duelist on the side of the defenders. They do have the man advantage. The Seekers also giving a lot of insight as to where these defenders will be coming from. And the bomb has planted, and they do have to reposition to a more... Oh, Recon gives away a position once again.
Do you ever owl drone and then look behind you and realize that there's people behind you and go, oh crap, I gotta not be an owl drone form anymore. I'm gonna get shot from behind.
Enemy remaining.
Well, maybe thankfully, Kyle's able to do a nice little trade-off with Navi there. Unfortunately, though, Cal is also there. Loco, the only one left alive for the defensive side now, has the resurrection ready, tries to get some shots through that wall, but it's just not gonna be enough. Zemnos to finish it off, and we are getting closer and closer to an even game here.
Yeah, I was doubtful of the no duelist composition, but I think I might become a believer after this, Becky, because it looks like Zemnos has been the leading force for Colossal Gaming in entering the site, as well as Varix, of course. But just Zemnos is creating that space that a duelist usually takes up. And when you do have a really good initiator, then that makes sense that you don't need a duelist.
I mean, we kind of got to see it at the start of that round, too. Zemnos went ahead, he was the trailblazer, and we saw that it was Fruity. Was like, I don't really want to shoot the trailblazer because I know how this goes. I aim my crosshair down to shoot the trailblazer, somebody swings out, and then I die. And we saw Fruity like try to stay vigilant, try to not go for the shots, eventually gives up, looks down, starts to shoot at the dog, and then gets swung on. So an unfortunate situation, but it does do, just like you mentioned, creates a ton of space by just allowing for somebody to have the matter pressed against them. Do you shoot this piece of utility, or do you just like let your location be known? Either way, it's going to go in an advantageous direction for the attacking side of Colossal, and beautifully just allows them to get that early first pick and continue to press the matter for even longer. And with that kind of in mind and that kind of strategy that they've been able to utilize, they are at 8-9, 1 point away from making this an even match.
And it is a save up round, or a save round for the side of Polarity here, as they don't have a lot in their back pockets. They're going to be just down to Sheriff. Some have shield, but others do not. So it's going to be a really easy take for this A site, as nobody is home. They're just going to kind of wait till the bomb gets planted and work on it afterwards. I'm really hoping that that Hunter's Fury does not come through. Okay. Perfect. That recon bolt does hit connect once. The second does not. But now they get to kind of come into sight together. There is a Blade Storm on Flames, as you can see, who is lurking about in the back site. Apple's good for one. Trying to look for the second. He knows RJ's about. Okay, Hunter's Fury, now that they do have an initial pick, makes sense. You're able to hopefully take down 2 for the rest of your teammates. Do some damage on Loco. Do some damage onto Soba as well. All your teammate needs to do is get onto the site. But no, everybody is falling for the side of Colossal, and now it's down just left to Kyle. Polarity had a hope, had a dream. They invested a lot, and they fell short.
I mean, it almost looked when we started watching that shock dart kind of come through and go for that default plant position. I thought we were actually seeing a snake bite go as well, and I thought we were going to see a really cool combination of like snake bite towards that default area, followed up by the shock dart, and just like able to use that double utility to take out the person who was planting the bomb. I don't know if it got blocked by someone or something, but either way, I thought it was going to be a really cool combination. Didn't end up coming all the way through for the defensive side, and just like that, nothing coming together for Polarity. They've now lost 5 out of the 6 defensive rounds since they've moved, and it's starting to get a little bit difficult for them, and even 9-9, and just like that, RJ picks up 2 kills, resurrects Navi, and it's a 5v3 situation.
It is looking grim, especially for this round. They do have, we see Flames with the operator in hand, and they do have the Tour of the Forest also out to play. So to push out onto the site with the man disadvantage, I don't think that's kind of what Polarity wants to do. I think they're okay with taking their losses here and maybe just working on those exit frags. But I mean, let's talk about it, Becky. You said it. They have lost 3 rounds in a row already. This is going to be their 4th loss in a row. And their economy, they're going to have to rely on keeping just the Vandal on Kyle, which then the rest of the gang can't even buy up. So we are looking to make this an 11-9.
Oh no, and now they know where he is because that trademark activated too. It didn't get to
Oh,
slow,
no.
but it at least lets them know where Kyle is. Unfortunately, Zemnos can't finish Kyle off, so Kyle will get to hold on to that Vandal, but considering, as you mentioned, that the rest of Polarity can't buy up going into this round, you've got to be feeling pretty good about it. It looks like Flames, Fruity actually can buy up Vandals here, but they're on light armor to go along with it, and light armor gets a lot scarier when there's a Viper in the game.
Yeah, oh, okay, yeah, they're able to scramble some money, and they also do have that Viper's Pit and Resurrection in their back pocket, so they are pretty okay. You're not with full shields where you actually like to be, you feel safe, you feel comfortable peeking, so I'm going to see a little bit of hesitance coming out from Polarity, especially with, not being able to take that much damage. It's going to be the snake bite. Good. Flames jumps through that snake bite to make it okay onto the second half. There is a stage nearby who is hopefully going to heal up Flames here at this point, if they do have it in their back pocket. But somehow, some way, it is a man advantage for the defenders. The attackers have to peek on through to get the bomb, which they are not yet in possession. Zemnos has been a menace. Just being able to connect with the headshots, flashes through, able to get plant on that default plant. Actually, no, gets a little worried there. It's like, oh, is somebody gonna push me through? Loco, though, able to take down Victoris, and now it's down left to just 2 of the attackers.
Last player standing.
Oh no, Recon Bolt's able to ping out a lot of people. Nice little swing from the back, taken care of. Unfortunately, the swing back to the front does get met by Loco on the side of Polarity, who continue to keep us at an even game, 10-10. I mean, this is the back and forth that we were hoping for in any one of those last 2 games that we just watched.
We indeed were. For all of you guys just joining, just another reminder, this is Down to the Wire. This is map 3 of the series. First map went in the way of Colossal Gaming, and the second map went in the way of Polarity. So this is Down to the Wire. No team picked this map, Becky. But if you were to tell me, I think this is the map choice for both of the teams.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of makes sense. This ends up being like the 3rd map a lot of the time. It's not anyone's least favorite, but it's not anyone's favorite. It's definitely kind of middle of the barrel. It used to be the map that a lot of people just like hated, but then they came out with Breeze and Fracture, and now a new hatred has been found for some of those different types of maps, and Icebox has kind of wiggled its way into some people's hearts. On top of that, giving a little bit of a terrain change over the last few patches has kind of made it just a lot better of a map, it feels like, and as a result, we're getting to see a lot of teams utilize it, a lot of teams understand strategies behind it. You get to see something, as we mentioned, like the Viper on this map, and sometimes the Sage has kind of ebbed and flowed out of favor on this map, but you know, the people who play Sage on this map love to play Sage on this map.
I mean, we've seen it though, Becky. It's the wall defuse. That's it for me. Wall defuse, wall plant, slow orbs here and there, even taking control of the tube. I get it. I get the vision between Sage and this map. It's like a forbidden love that everyone loves to kind of bring out here, and but it is the coming up around after the attackers timeout. They are seeing that they are in this war back and forth. There is a lot of ultimates on the side of Colossal Gaming. We have Verix on the Sword the Force. They bring to use it, but I was going to say, Kyle says, Zemnos, you are not bringing out those Seekers. Put them away. We will talk about it another round. And now the defenders are breathing a little bit easier as they have the man advantage, and they also have that Viper's Pit onto that B site, which makes it harder for the attackers to actually hit that site. So they're thinking more, okay, let's see if we can get some damage onto this mid site. Maybe someone overextends, maybe someone peeks. But Loco is not looking to peek. Look at that, just standing still.
Yeah, crouching every once in a while, kind of doing a little dance, just trying to keep themselves focused on the moment at hand. You know, sometimes you're just like so focused on watching an angle, and then you decide to look at the minimap 1 second, and that's the second that somebody peeks. Yeah, Loco's trying to do their best to keep looking in the
30
direction
seconds
about to get rewarded. Never mind, not rewarded for it, but you know who will be rewarded? It will be Fruity, who picks off that kill on the Cal, and all of a sudden, I mean, when you're talking about wall plant, this is a little bit different than what we typically see as far as wall plant is concerned, but it'll work considering that they really don't want to go into that Viper's Pit that's hanging out towards that B long area.
Yeah, Viper's Pit is like going into I'm trying to think. A dark room. You're terrified. You don't know what's in there. We all know that there's probably nothing in there, but deep down in our deep consciousness, we're like, there's something in there and it's gonna take me. I'm so scared, and that is exactly what's happening here as Fruity gets onto RJ. Varix takes the claim, but Kyle is there saying, I am there to clean up town, and Fruity gets rewarded, working once again for that Viper's Pit.
Yeah, I mean, so nice. The lead once again going Polarity's away. I feel like that's how it happens. We see Colossal get into an even game, we see Polarity pull ahead, we see Colossal get into an even game, we see Polarity pull ahead. However, Polarity have had kind of like a little bit of a struggle to pull ahead since moving to this defensive side. 2 rounds, 1 in a row though, so they're getting a little bit better. But the vast majority of the rounds from this half have gone Colossal's way, so it's still anyone's game, especially considering that
I've got your train.
Let's play.
ready to go. Well, okay, now there's 3, but that's only because Zemnaz has now already utilized the Seeker. Said, I'm not waiting to have him out and have somebody shoot me down before I can even get him out. I'm just gonna go ahead, utilize them right away, get that information, and get my team onto this B site. Though we have seen this B site be a little bit difficult for teams so far on this.
Wait, Becky. Becky, they're baiting. They are full baiting that A site, but not before they get punished. Apple's able to take down Varix. Hunter's Fury being taken down, but that's not even where the bomb is. The bomb is already on its way onto A site on that UPS Express, getting onto the site. But Kyle is the FedEx man, and he is there to clean up. Gets one, but Flames is there as well. The Viper's Pit does come down, making it nice and easy for Colossal to plant, but it's just 2 members left the Colossal. They have a lot to overcome here.
Yeah, I mean, this Viper's Pit is going to make it a little bit easier. Almost stepped into that operator shot, and I actually kind of love this play. Have this Viper hold down on site, hold down where the bomb is. Zemnaz is going to just go ahead and kind of wiggle all through. Unfortunately, he is spotted out by that grade mark, so it's going to make it that much more difficult. Oh no, the wall to come out. Actually, Fruity to walk right into Cal. Cal's going to be able to take out Loco, but that bomb is at half. Fruity's going to be able to hold it. I mean, this is what we got to see, and now we're getting to see it from both of these defensive sides, except for this one puts Polarity to match point.
Match point.
Okay, here is my worry. My worry is Zemnaz has been the star player, in my personal opinion, for the side of Colossal Gaming. But this play, Zemnaz, like, I don't understand. You had an idea. I like the idea. You're going to lurk around the backside, hope that you can flank the remaining team of Polarity. Yes, somewhere in that thought process, Zemnaz said, that's a terrible idea. I'm going to go back A main. And that gave enough time for Viper to go down, and then Zemnaz was lost in the sauce. So if we want a comeback here happening from Colossal Gaming, Zemnaz needs to stop getting lost in the sauce. That's it.
I'm also amazed at this wall in spawn to give Flames this high ground to just look all... I mean, what a time to pull that strat out. Waiting to utilize something like that until match point, just so nobody is expecting it. I mean, okay, I like it.
You got to bring out the TikTok walls every once in a while, Becky. That's how you get the dubs.
TikTok walls. I love it. That's the whole reason you play Sage, to play the TikTok walls.
That's it. Period. There is a resurrection though. Now that RJ has got this this orb, so the resurrection. But guess where it's coming for? It's coming for Barracks here. We're gonna bring him back into the party. Of course, Flames is still somewhere around the vicinity, ready to snipe anyone out. Kyle is going to possibly, gonna bring out that recon bolt to make sure that information is gathered here. But RJ is ready to go to. Oh, poor Barracks does go down once again, as well as Navi. And now it's just down to the 3 remaining. We are down to the wire here, Becky. If this goes down the wrong hands, we are looking at match point.
Out of charge.
Yeah, damage done onto that Sky as well as the Sage. So it's going to be able to heal up. I mean, we're talking about resurrections. Apple's also coming back from the dead. We've got zombies on the field all across the board here. Polarity though,
Give me those
Flame
guns.
looking, finds one on Semnaz.
One
Kyle
enemy
and
remaining.
RGG trade right back. Unfortunately now Kyle, one of two remaining. RJ, only one remaining for the attacking side. The last stand for Colossal, but it's actually going to be Kyle to get the final clutch of the evening and bring it home for Polarity.
Defenders win.
There was heart, there was dreams, there was down left to just one player for the side of Colossal, and unfortunately RJ did not find what he was looking for, which was another life. And hello, our wonderful host, what did you think about this game?
Well, like I don't know if you could see me in the OBS preview, but I'm literally just losing my absolute shit. That's my one per show. Oh my, like that was insane. Like first game number one was like okay, stomp first half, bring it back second half. Game number two was literally just the polarity show. Then game number three, we have this absolute banger back and forth, all the way to the end. And polarity squeaking it out off of just stellar team play, double swinging together, just finding the picks first. And I know we let the fans vote on MVP, but Kyle.
If you'd have asked me to, like, who would possibly be MVP after that first game, never would I have guessed Kyle. Never would I have said
Right.
Kyle.
Right.
Second game, I was like, okay, like, maybe Kyle. Kyle definitely, like, played well, but, like, Flames really was just, like, on it in game number two. Game number three, yeah, Kyle's points from game number two on top of this showing, on top of the, what, like, 7 total clutches in this 23-round game. Absolutely insane. Congratulations to Kyle. Congratulations to Polarity. But Kyle, yes, agree. Absolutely fantastic. I said that normally a Sova can make or break on certain maps. I mentioned it for strictly Ascent, but certainly was the case on Icebox today.
Absolutely, almost leaving me speechless with how he got away with legit murder on some of those maps and those 1v multi clutches. The man, ice in his veins. Like they got flames for sure. They got ice and flame power going on because Kyle, cool, calm, and collected. Just oh my god, that was absolutely great stuff. Also, Fruity was super dope on map number 3 as well. I loved his ability to just be in the right space where he needed to provide that backup, provide that utility for his team, and just be a little bit of a trickster for a lot of these. But I will give it to Colossal for putting on such a stellar fight, stellar performance. Varix playing really well, Navi playing very well, but Cal trying his best, unfortunately not getting there. But man, that was such a fun series to unpack. Cute Noob, how are you feeling on that series?
I am enjoying everything you guys are saying. I agree with everything you guys are saying. I knew it was going to be a close up from the get go. We said these two teams have already seen the semifinals last spring league. So I didn't expect anything but perfection. Again, I'm going to say it and I'm going to say this until the next time we cast, which is we've been spoiled. Everything from this point on has to be up to par. Otherwise, we're going to be a little sad. All right. So we're looking at you teams that are coming up next. You better be bringing that fire because Polarity and Colossal Gaming definitely brought it. So
Too true.
Yeah, for sure. They brought it. Week one, day one, gonna open up with a banger like that. Just oh man, that just goes to show the strength of this league, the strength of all these teams, all of the teams in this league, and I'm just so excited for the rest of this season and how it's gonna go. My God, girl, it's gonna be amazing. But yeah, we got the MVP poll going in Twitch chat, I believe, right now. So we gonna let everybody get their votes in. I know who I voted for, and I think we all have like a unanimous agree, unless I don't know, someone wants to make a different case, but we can unpack that game by game if we need to.
I don't think we need to. I think I'm personally in agreement with you, and I think like if you need something to put you even more over the edge, how much? Okay, so obviously Kyle is top of the board for that final game. How much do you think the next combat score below Kyle was? I want to see some numbers in chat. I want to know how much of a difference you think there is between first and second frag in this game. I'm curious. There's a 3-minute delay, so I'm not that curious, but I'm certainly like, it's crazy if you're in such a great and insane position that you have a combat score that is 100 above the next person, I think that's all that needs to be said. I
Yeah.
think that's it.
Like,
Mhm.
oh my god,
I
bro! I
agree.
will buy all drinks on the next round. I will buy you lunch. Like, bro, like I will name my firstborn, give them your middle name. Like, just
I'm not naming my kid Kyle. You did great, but I'm sorry.
It's debatable. Point is, I think we could all agree. Kyle definitely led. I like. I'm sorry, but Fruity. I have to say, Fruity was a name that was constantly being said throughout at least all three maps. I feel like consistently being
yeah,
there. Also, like we agreed that Fruity has been in every role possible. So talk
right.
about being a backbone of your team. You were the initiator, then you went to the Sentinel, and then like I think that's duality. If I'm gonna be that lonesome person on the other island that says, Fruity, I'm your biggest fan. I think you did phenomenal. Yes, you did not have a 344 combat score, but I think you filled the role and filled the role perfectly as well.
All right.
Absolutely agreed.
True.
Oh my goodness, that was so insane for the first series back for this league, and like you said, you noob, you said it. We were spoiled, just 100%. Now every single game after this has to live up to that hype, has to live up to that level
Mhm.
of excellence that these teams showed us today. And honestly, I feel with like a lot of the teams in this league can bring us to that point. So, look, we're gonna strap in, get banger series after series, week after weeks, and playoffs is literally gonna make my head fall off. I feel at this point.
We
I hope
have
not.
such high expectations. Yeah, please don't have your head fall off. We need
I
that.
mean, it's okay. Hydra, all that fun stuff can grow him back. You've seen Hercules. You know how it works.
I
I
have.
have.
That's one of my favorite movies, actually.
Oh, fun fact.
Fun fact.
It's amazing. Like every single facet of it. Like soundtrack, top 3 Disney soundtracks, undebatably.
True. We talked about Brother Bear, which I think is also one, and now we're talking about Hercules, also one. I mean,
Best table all
Tarzan, the
around.
other one. It's really just the Phil Collins movies, I think,
Like
kind of
this man
they
literally
take the
is so
cake for
great.
me. Oh my gosh, I love Phil. How did we Valorant into Phil Collins? That's just how the day is going. Congratulations once again to Kyle. I mean, that is the KDA in the combat score to
My
be. And we
God.
kind of watched Kyle get to do this Hercules stories of like kind of starting off unassuming in that
Yeah.
first game and then slowly just build up into being this god-like character. So beautiful to see, and a fantastic first series that we're seeing on week 1.
Oh my God, yeah. So much love. Love the zero to hero journey he decided to go on and just drag his team across that finish line in Icebox, the dreaded
Thank
Icebox. Although not as dreaded as
Not anymore.
Not as
not
dreaded as
anymore.
Fracture
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, not as dreaded as
Mhm.
Fracture.
Oh,
And
and Breeze.
look, we love Breeze. It's just like the stretchiest corridors allow for the most ridiculous play sometimes, but Fracture, we don't talk about her.
I'm sorry, Fracture. One day people will love you.
Well,
One
Yeah.
day.
maybe one day.
People
Oh
just
man.
aren't realizing your true full potential yet, but one day.
Exactly.
That's my goal. That's my goal for this. Eventually I would like to see people play Fracture. I want to see what people are
Mhm.
bringing to the table. I think that there's a lot of agents that really utilize Fracture very well. I think that people are still just nervous. People are nervous that somebody is going to have a strategy that they're not prepared
Mhm.
for, and if there's a map where that would be so deeply punished, it is Fracture. So I understand, but I still want to see it.
Understandably. Yep. Hey, I mean, next week we get Fade, and next week we might actually get Fracture too. We will have to see. But I
Ooh.
do believe that will be it for anything. Any closing statements from the two of you? Cute noob.
It's been fun, as always.
Becky.
Oh, I mean, week 2's got a lot to live up to, and that's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely, indeed. And yeah, that will be it. Join us here same time next week, I do believe. And hey, from myself, Beautiful Crow, and the rest of the broadcast team, y'all have yourselves a wonderful night. And we'll see you next time for more Victoris Legend Series action. Peace.